in an unbelievable conference championship game. Another game for maybe the ages. Another game we look back upon as a historical marking point for your Seattle Seahawks, set up right here and now. With 3 seconds to go, he catches it to Puka Nacua. Just like I said, they were trying to get it. They're saying he ran out of bounds. They're saying he ran out of bounds. He ran out of bounds. The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl, baby. The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl, baby. He's down. He's out. We're good to go. Let's go, bro. We're going back. The storybook season continues forward. It just keeps rolling. It doesn't matter whether it's the Rams. It doesn't matter whether it's the refs. You keep punching. You keep punching and you don't give up. Let's go, Seahawks.
What is up, NFC West football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable, a tough act to follow as Brando and the 12s are off to Super Bowl 60. Stand up, Seahawk Nation. Stand up, 12s. You did it. You are moving on to the Super Bowl. Many would argue we just watched the Super Bowl. The Seahawks just earned the right to play the New England Patriots in Santa Clara in Super Bowl 60, 2 weeks from Sunday, getting the defeat over their bitter rival, the LA Rams. On tonight's episode, we dive into it all. How the Seahawks were able to overcome a year last year where nobody thought they'd get to this point, yet here they are. We'll talk about the other end of things. The Rams, seemingly the best team in football all year long, coming up this short when it was all said and done. We were treated to an incredible NFC Championship game. We will dive into that all with you tonight as we also get you set for that incredible Super Bowl featuring one of your very own within this division. Without further ado, let's bring in the fellas. Jake, Mike, and the happiest man on the planet. It is Brando. Had to start the show, Brandon, with that raw reaction. It's a reaction I wish I could have experienced at some point in my life, and I pray to God someday I do get to experience it. But Brando, you just got to experience it about 48 hours ago. Jubilation. Your Seahawks are back into the Super Bowl, beating the LA Rams 31-27, a 16-win season for Seattle. Only 3 losses throughout the duration of the regular season. Obviously, no losses in the postseason, and we're not predicting a loss coming around the corner. At least I don't think this panel is. Sam Darnold, the key here. Many thought he couldn't get it done, and those who thought Seattle had the ability to go to the Super Bowl, they thought it was going to be on the back of this defense. And of course, this defense is probably the positional group, the side of the field on this team that you look at as maybe the biggest reason as to why they've gotten to where they have. But Sam Darnold in this game, with the lights being the brightest they've ever been in his career, 25 of 36, 346, 3 touchdowns. And it says a lot to outduel what Matt Stafford did on the other side, because he had a whale of a game himself, 374, 3 touchdowns, but it just comes up shy for Stafford and the Rams. Brando, we have to start with you. You're back. You're going to the Super Bowl. Walk us through it all and talk to us about how you're feeling after finally getting back, being able to avenge the last time your fellas were in there.
It's a season that everyone likes to joke about the script writers and do endless amounts of memes and YouTube videos out there. And it's all joke. You couldn't have script written this up in a more crazier fashion, in a more unbelievable from a Hawk fan perspective. You know, I mean, many of us Hawk fans are saying, hey, we got an LOB season on the books, legendary defense, taking down the greatest all-time offense, at least statistically. And yet this season seems to surpass that because everything that just goes on along this, the second trilogy that you had to win, all that people had as far as their doubts go, all of what everybody said for years, and here with Sam Darnold, not just this year, but for years, and then just kept doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on what they were saying about him. And that everybody said he couldn't give you this exact performance he gave you on this day. And all of it comes together on top of the fact that you have this grade A opponent in the Rams. There's no disrespect to them. This game showed you, in my opinion, as I think Jake's going to also certify, these were the 2 best teams in the NFL this year, bar none. And the 3rd best team might be a long way back. We'll come to see on that in a couple of weeks. But the fact that this year has gone through all the turns, you think about the 4 interception performance with Darnold and where everybody was at with him and with this team and going, just a little too early for them. The preseason predictions, including even on this panel where some people had him in the 4th place. I ain't naming names. But it's to have it go from there to all the way to here, and then have Sam not only get the win, not only against this rival within this division, not against the second best team in the NFL, not after this long ride to here, but that it's Sam that carries you through to do it. That it is your defense that falters, and your special teams was obviously awesome as well. Props to them. But the fact that Sam could go note for note with Stafford, because even the biggest haters might be going, okay, well, maybe he can luck his way to a win. Maybe if you can keep him down to 5 to 10 attempts in the game and just run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, that'll get it done. But no one would have said there would ever have been a reality that we lived upon it in, that in this game, with this on the line, brightest lights, conference championship, the Super Bowl on the line, no running game, 2.9 yards per carry on the day running the ball. So you didn't get to lean back on that. Didn't get to lean back on a great defensive performance or them carried him through. This is the performance Trent Dilfer wouldn't have. This is the performance Brad Johnson wouldn't be able to have. This is the performance that Jalen Hurts wouldn't be able to have if he didn't have these other things working for us, at least one of those two other parts working in his favor. And I've been saying it for a while since the start of this season, and I'll finish on this note. Sam is just that good. I'm not elevating him now. I'm not taking his best performance and saying somehow it's better than what I've said he's been at. But I've been saying he's been at that since day one.
In the excitement of setting the stage for you, Brando, I forgot to say that our main man, Jesse, is not with us tonight. I believe he came down with Darnollitis because he could not believe what he saw on Sunday. His main man, Sam Darnold, went and did what Jesse said would be impossible, essentially. He said it'd be a cold day in hell. And look, I think many people would have aligned with Jesse, at least far closer to his ideology than yours, Brandon. But this is where I want to go with this, because the Seahawks took a massive risk. Geno Smith was safe. Right? He wasn't like he was the worst quarterback in the league. You could have kept building there. DK Metcalf, that's a household name, right? That's a guy many people would think you'd build your wide receiver room around. You go with Darnold. You promote JSN to the top guy. This offense becomes one of the best in football. Sam Darnold, and I'm just wondering from your perspective, because you have been his biggest supporter, but did you even think, like you just alluded to, that on the biggest stage, he'd not only go toe-to-toe with the likely league MVP, but he'd outduel him and get the victory to go to the Super Bowl?
I'd be lying if I said that I just thought that this was readily available inside him whenever you needed to call upon him. But I think that that's where I've also tried to take a little bit of umbrage with the people that just speak to him in the quotients of being a Brad Johnson, a Trent Dilfer, a Jimmy Garoppolo, as is bandied about. There's a lot of throws in that game that Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't make on his best day with a wind at his back. So those comparisons were the part that I most was like, you're not in the right place. You're not to the right thing. And that is that because he has the ability to make all the throws. So part of what made him the top 3 pick, you go, well, the turnovers and the interceptions, but it's also that he can make every throw in the book. It's that he can have a guy laying on him and still chuck it 35 yards down the field with some force and still fit that ball in. He doesn't have to have all of his spikes in the ground, as old Sullivan would say. And that's a little bit you got in this game, is ability to see all the throws at play that he can kind of go make, and that he's got that high level of talent for a reason. That the NFL evaluators didn't just completely miss the boat on this part, that there was a reason that they were drawn to him in this fashion. And it's what elevates him past just being this mere game manager, where so much of that is based upon the limitations of the quarterback and working your way around it so that you don't have to face it. With him, there's not necessarily those limitations, but as also I've been saying about this with his performance that happened in this game, he did this in this game because he had to do this in this game. And that through the back half of the schedule, a part of this factor and part of the quotient is the fact that you've been playing that prototype type game that's not required him to do this. You've been blowing out opponents. People were getting caught up on the 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, but they got lost in the sauce with the fact that you were blowing opponents out and you were winning every single game since that 4 interception game against the Rams. And that was the most important part, but he was capable of stepping outside of it for sure. Wasn't saying I'm predicting it, but I certainly think he has it inside him.
No question about it. And it was through an oblique injury nonetheless. All of a sudden, after 2 weeks off, like you pop up an injury for Sam Darnold. You're wondering if he's going to be good to go. Carries that into this game. You would never have known it. And now he's off to the Super Bowl. People are asking, is Jesse okay, though? Seriously. No, he does have a case of Darnolditis, but it is not lethal. He's going to be fine. Yes, Jesse is fine.
It puts you down hard for a good 36 hours. Well, actually about a 3-hour period on usually about a Tuesday for 6 to, but then you're right back up into the evening time. So it's,
but when it hits, Brando, it comes out of nowhere. You just, you don't see it coming, and it hits.
Severe.
But despite the severity of the Darnolditis, yes, Jesse is fine. He is moving, which I would argue is worse than having Darnolditis. So we wish him well. Hope the move goes well. He'll be back with us next week. Before we transition to Jake, Brando, one last question here for you. Not only do you move on, but man, this league is a funny, funny league sometimes. And if there's one thing this league is, it is a story-driven league. It's 11 years removed from the last time the Seattle Seahawks are in the Super Bowl. The last time you saw these Hawks take an offensive snap in the Super Bowl, it was considered to be one of the biggest blunders in Super Bowl history against the New England Patriots. That is the same opponent you get to right those wrongs against in Super Bowl 60. How much sweeter is it that you get to take on the team that has caused you torment for the last decade? Not maybe year in and year out, but of course mentally after that moment.
It's, again, that final chapter that you can put in the Disney storybook, that's basically what you would relate this season to when we look in the retrospect. We had 2 trilogies, Z-Bots, 2 trilogies in the playoffs to give us. So we had to win our division basically twice to get here. Yep. And it's, again, a team, I know I hammer this, but it's a team that had 7.5 wins on the season by Vegas's output. And you went through this crazy year where you've reversed all this down. You've slayed, and I know the Rams and 49er fans don't want to hear this, but you were the 2 rivals that had our number the past couple of years. And so us getting this trilogy is cool. That part extra is cool. But also remembering the fact that these are also 2 teams that have had your numbers the past couple of years. And then you mentioned this Super Bowl that you lost 10 years ago on the play that everybody and every fan base has rubbed our nose in constantly for over a decade straight. There's not a year that goes by that I don't have multiple mentions in from people that still continue, should have ran it. And so, yeah, this would be pretty cool to be able to come back and finish this magical year off by then slaying down the Patriots. And then again, it's on multiple levels. Because not only are we slaying the great team that had our number last and we should have had that game, but also the team that I think most of America is going to be like, please don't let them win again. So we got America at our back. Maybe even LA will be at our back on this one.
I'll tell you who you got on your back. You got Z-Bot on your back. I'm riding with the 12s more than you could possibly believe.
Yeah,
I might paint my face on that Sunday. The unfortunate reality is that game felt like it was the Super Bowl. You watch the AFC Championship, and I saw someone make an incredible comparison. It was like watching the JV team play before the varsity took the field. That's exactly what that felt like. And don't let the snowstorm distract you from the fact that game was just as bad as in the first half as it was before the snow came about. That NFC Championship, it felt like the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, with 2 teams in this division being a part of that proverbial Super Bowl, one of them had to lose. And that, unfortunately, was the LA Rams, who fall 4 points shy despite a Herculean effort on offense from Matt Stafford. Once again, the likely MVP, 22 of 35, 374, 3 touchdowns. It is incredible that Puka Nacua perhaps had his 2 best games of his career against the Seahawks within the last month, and they lose them both somehow. Puka Nacua, 9 receptions, 165, 1 touchdown. An absolutely massive, pivotal moment in this game. A muffed punt that really felt like it left the Rams chasing those points for the rest of the game. Jake, I'll swing it to you. I stopped by your live afterwards. You had said, I don't want to misquote you, but I believe this was the most upsetting loss you had experienced as a Rams fan. Walk us through why that was. Walk us through what happened in the NFC Championship on the Rams side of things.
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly lost games in more of a ridiculous fashion. So losing the way they did at the end didn't bother me. I didn't have any bother with the Cooper Kupp thing. I know Rams fans were wondering if that was a catch or not. I didn't care. To me, they lost this game on that 3rd and goal. And you tip your cap to Mike Macdonald. I mean, the Rams are the only team in this league that have Mike Macdonald's number to an extent offensively. But when they had to get a stop, they did it. And I just don't know what Sean McVay, somebody who's been in the league for 9 years and I believe is the best coach when he's going. I don't know if anybody can beat him, but he has that blind spot that just occasionally hits. And I think, you look at that 3rd down, why is Konate Mumfield out there on the outside isolated? Why is Puka Nacua not getting the 2 targets of your season? To me, I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, this game could have gone to overtime, but I felt really good about the Rams. At least it's going to be overtime or they're going to win if they score. I mean, they were 6 yards short. They were 13 yards short last year after making, a Herculean effort to come back down 28-13 or 28-15 against the Eagles, who end up going on to win the Super Bowl. It's back-to-back years where you lost to the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. And, this is the year where I feel like on one hand, you have Seattle fans saying this was our, the storybook. This was the story. And I feel like, on the Rams side, Seattle, you just got to give them credit, because I think week 16, I was hoping it wasn't the case at the time, but that loss, obviously more painful in how it went down, that had effects on this season. The Rams, I was just in LA against, the Lions. They win that close game, and they're the first team to clinch the playoffs, and you're feeling good. And you're like, yeah, a short week. It's going to be Seattle, but I trust the Rams. And of course, no Devontae and no Quentin Lake, and you're dealing with that, but I still trust the Rams to win the game. And, you go up 16 with 8 minutes to go, and you find a way to lose that game. And I think that was the moment in the season. You don't realize it until it happens, but that was the moment in the season. This was the Rams Super Bowl to lose. And, they might have just lost it week 16. Doesn't mean they didn't have a chance. And obviously they absolutely did. They came 6 yards short of taking the lead to go to the Super Bowl with under 5 minutes to go. But that's the one I keep looking back on. And, I think Seattle at the end of the season, I've done a lot of, really kind of rewatching games and just really thinking this thing through. And I think Seattle was the better team at the end of the season. And I don't have any issue admitting that, because the reason why I kept saying the Rams were the best team is because when I was saying that earlier in the year, they absolutely were. They were a team that was allowing 18 points per game. A lot of people forget that. And they had the best offense in the league. And they were getting better. And I think Seattle took that week 16. They took it right from the Rams. They took the division. They took the NFC. And they said, go play on the road. We only have to win 2 games. And we're going to the Super Bowl. And so I just think the Rams, it sucks. It's a season that no matter what you do next year, even if you win the Super Bowl in LA for the second time, you will never get this chance again. So I have, the utmost respect for Seattle, especially my cohort, Brandon, who I think is just one of one in the Seattle community. I think they're very lucky to have him as a content creator. I think he did an incredible job covering them. And it's frustrating, for my team to lose, but I can live with the fact that I think Seattle at the end of the year was the better team. It's the same way. It took me a while to realize it, but I could live with the fact when I realized, yeah, the Eagles were just better last year. I can live with that. It makes it tough because, you didn't necessarily ever stop Matthew Stafford, but the defense just didn't come through when they needed to. And, Sean McVay, it goes back to the first half. You're up 13-10, run the football twice, you punt it back. At worst, they got 30 seconds left, 20 seconds left. They're not going down the field and scoring a touchdown. So it just feels like a game that a 9-year veteran coach who I absolutely love and has won a ring, he made some of the same mistakes that he's made. And I'm really frustrated by that, but I just have the utmost respect for the Seattle Seahawks. They build it the right way. I changed my prediction in the middle of this show when we were making the predictions for the teams, and I said Seattle was going to be ahead of the 49ers. I had them winning 11 games, so I never bought into any of that rubbish nonsense that they were a below 500 team like Vegas did. Also, those odds are ridiculous. We have a plus 8,000 team in the playoffs and a plus 6,000 team in the playoffs. Just a reminder that those preseason, those Super Bowl stuff, that it just doesn't matter. But lastly, and obviously I'd love to be able to be talking about my team going to the Super Bowl, but lastly, congratulations to the Seahawks fans. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and, just beat around the bush. I said it when Brandon and I did our show. I said I would give credit where credit's due. I didn't feel like this game came down to a bad call, which I feel good about. And I just feel like the Rams came up short. They had opportunities and they didn't, come through. And Sam Darnold, I said if Sam Darnold has one of those games where he just outplays you, you just tip your cap. That's what you do. I totally agree with everything Brandon said. I was kind of in the middle of that. I felt like the team that had the second most, giveaways on the year, I felt like that was going to bleed through. They did a good job of taking care of the football. But I never once viewed, Sam Darnold as this Trent Dilfer, as this Brad Johnson. I thought that was incredibly disrespectful, and good on him, because he was mortified last year. He was embarrassed, and he was made every meme in the book when the Rams went in and destroyed his team 27-9, and he got a chance to have revenge. So good for him. If there's any merit to what Mike Silver said, normally there's not, because Mike Silver's just a shit starter against the Rams. But if there's any merit, and they did treat Cooper Kupp poorly, and they had any hand in manipulating his offseason, good on him. Same thing with Ernest Jones. I mean, if that's the case. But it's a long-winded thing, but I'm not going to sit here and just sulk and, be all mad and everything. The Rams fell short. That's the reality of it, and I don't expect Seattle to lose this game. I think they're going to absolutely blow the Patriots out of the water. This was the Super Bowl. There is no question about it. The NFC was leaps and bounds ahead of the AFC, and really just the Rams and Seahawks were leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the league. And I feel good about, potentially what does that look like in the future? I guess we'll find out.
One thing you mentioned,
really quick, Z-Bob, real quick,
sure,
because he was so kind to me. Just want to echo right back to Jake. My respect and admiration for what he does. Mike, you're obviously a two-in with us, and Jesse would be, but he didn't show up, so he's gonna have to go ahead and get that back in person. But same thing back to you, man. You cover your team a great fashion, and you're a great representation of this organization. Your people come in the chat in my house; they've been super respectful, even in the loss, super respectful. So, really big shout out to man. Much love to you. We're going to have a bright future here with this channel and where we're going here in the future. But your team still, all of the teams in this division, including yours, Mike, are going to have a brighter future here. So it's going to be fun, man. Looking forward to it. But thank you for that, man. Everything back at you on that. Right back at you.
Must feel nice to be having a good week, Must feel nice to be having a good week rooting for your team. And I'm about to shed a tear over the love affair that's going on in here. By the way, Brando said plenty of love to continue down the line here on this channel. We're cruising towards 10,000 subs. If you're in here and you're new and you're a Hawks fan and you want to just keep the celebration going, first of all, thanks for joining. Tap that subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. Would love to get to 10K by the time the Super Bowl rolls around or after that, because we got a good thing going on here. Best division in football. Jake, you alluded to it, and I think most would have agreed. At one point late in the season, I think the unanimous conclusion was the LA Rams were the best team in football. There's one thing that you mentioned on your post-game stream of this game, and you just alluded to it a little bit there. It was probably the most critical I've heard you of Sean McVay. What in particular about this game? Because I think we all look at Sean McVay, including I look at it from my perspective, right? The Bills fire Sean McDermott. They're looking for a new head coach. When you think I'm looking for a new head coach, Sean McVay is instantly one of the guys you look at as the standard. So when you're talking about his errors in this game that lead to defeat, what was it about Sean McVay's performance in this game that you felt ultimately kind of did the Rams in if he were to have gone with a different approach here?
Run, Kyron.
I mean, that's tough, Mike, because normally I would say yes, but the way Stafford was throwing the ball all over the yard against, arguably the best defense in the league, I don't fault him for that. And I don't want to take any credit away from Mike McDonald, but I just felt like there were moments in this game where, like, read the room. They're doing a really nice job on third down. When you have a chance, you're up 13-10, you have the ball, the half is coming to a close. Like, if they run the ball twice, right, it really lowers that clock. You're probably going to punt it back, but they're just not going to have a lot of time. Going down 17-13 on the road at the end of that half, it injects the fans back into it. If they're down 13-10, they're at home. They have the advantage anyway. But to go, like, literally give up that drive, that was just unacceptable. And then, of course, you have the special teams play McVay could have, he could have adjusted there too. Because I know Brandon knows where I'm going with this. I mean, we just saw Xavier Smith muff a punt before that, and he doesn't take him out. And these could just be like, me finger pointing and being ridiculous. But the biggest
he took Kyron out after that.
Exactly, right? The biggest one for me was down in the red area, because this is football 101. This is strategy. The Rams had a 7-minute drive. They ran out of time to win this game because they chose to do that. They chose to go 7-8 minutes down the field, wear down a defense, get that big exclamation point touchdown on the end of that drive. And then basically what they're saying is, all right, defense, you're going to go out there with all the momentum on your side, huge touchdown drive, and you're going to win this game. That is what they chose to do. And they got all the way down there. It was like 14-play drive, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. They took a ton of time off the clock. And they're in the red zone. And they fall short, but I don't know what Sean was thinking. Because you have Puka Nacua, who's the best contested catch receiver in football, bar none. And he was a big reason why you got down there. And when push came to shove, you run with Kyron, he gets stopped. And on third down, you throw it to Konate Mumfield, who's a rookie 7th rounder, who has not been on the same page with Matthew Stafford. Now, he didn't lose the game, but I don't understand that. Then the fourth down, and everybody gets on the fourth down like, oh, yeah, why do you throw to Ferguson or what? They lost on third down. That was no different. The way I saw it, that play right there was no different than when Bo Limmer missed the block in the divisional round of the playoffs last year against Jalen Carter. Because no one remembers that there's another play after that. Stafford ends up, sailing it past Puka Nacua. It's the game over. Everyone remembers the impact play. And that play, credit Seattle defended it well, but I think Sean McVay is getting cute. Why is Terrence Ferguson in the back of the end zone? It was 3rd and 4 and then 4th and 4. You get a first down and you could actually take more time off the clock. It just felt like they were going for it all there, and I just didn't like the way they attacked him. And then the last criticism of McVay, because I thought he called a great game for most of the game. These are nitpicks, but I think they are massive. The last thing is, regardless of how I feel about the call, because I think it was a catch. Brandon, what are your thoughts on that? The Cooper Kupp call? Catch?
I think it would be determined as a football move when he's stretching the ball out for the first down.
I would too.
So that's
here we go.
That's my
here
opinion.
we go.
I have fully admitted in the past on this, you guys, I'm consistent on this one. I'm not saying it to be cheeky. I sometimes honestly still don't know what a catch is in the NFL, but
I don't either.
That's so I'm not saying with ultimate confidence. You could whatever you got. I'm at the point where any guy, I could see a guy landing with 2 hands, running 5 steps, and still somebody could probably at this point talk me out of but. I think the football move is the aspect 1, 2, and then you stretch it.
And then people are wondering if it's a fumble, and I'm just I think he was down, and I think he made the catch.
The ground can't cause fumble. So that, and this is where the part gets confused. People go, well, you've got to maintain down to the ground, right? That's what they're saying. A lot of people that'll criticize him is they say, well, you're supposed to have to maintain the ball down the ground. But if you get the 2 feet down and it's a football move, now it's just like a running back that's brought down to the ground, and the ground causes the fumble. It's the exact equivalent for it at that point, as I understand the rules with this.
So I'll just add, a ground can't cause a fumble, but it can cause an interception, fellas. I just wanted to add that.
I knew that was coming.
Just wanted to add that.
So my unbiased opinion, and yes, I'm a Rams fan, I believe it was a catch, and I believe he was short by a hair. And I didn't think that initially. I thought he got the first down, and then that last thing, it looked like his shoulder touched, and he didn't quite get the ball past the line. Sean McVay calls a timeout and doesn't challenge. I can't even understand that. And I guess maybe I had already given up on the game after, I watched it, but I knew they lost when they didn't get the conversion on 3rd and 4th down. That was it. So I had no trust in the defense to stop them. But I would have liked to see, if Sean McVay does try and challenge that, if that does get overturned, that's a 4th and inches play Brandon, you're definitely going for that, right? Like that's like the FU.
I'm glad you bring this.
We are pushing the shit out of Barner right up the middle, and we're going to win this. We're going to the Super Bowl on this play.
Yeah, there's a reason I got this soundbite on my board. So, and the reason being is that we became the most effective team in the NFL this year at running the tush push.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not talked about. I know Hurts and company get the credit, but we were the most effective team. Not only getting,
I saw
we got four. He got 4 false starts with hard counts on the year, not just getting the first downs. So yeah, and it was confirmed that they would have done that in that moment. We would have brought him out. We weren't going to punt. So
yeah, no, you don't punt.
You're not giving Stafford. Let's get Stafford the ball and see what happens. That'll go well. Yeah, I don't think so. We're going to probably try that instead. So I'd probably likely get it even if you go to that, to your point.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't know why you call the timeout and then you don't challenge it when you just could have called the timeout, or you could have called the challenge and then there's a timeout if you don't get it. Like I agree. So there were few instances, and Brandon, you watched it as much as I did, and you kind of see the game similar to how I see it. Don't you think that's fair? Like in the criticism of McVay, I think he's a great coach. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. I think he's top 3 in the league, no doubt about it. But I think he gets into his head way too often, and I'm sure he's sitting there right now thinking, like, what was I doing on that final drive? Because that drive was great until you got to the red area, and I just don't know what he was actually trying to accomplish. I feel like he was trying to be cute to the point where I'm going to go to the Super Bowl throwing a touchdown to Terrence Ferguson, or I'm going to throw to Konate Mumfield because they're never going to see that coming. I mean, in a way, it felt like Ricardo Lockett all over again. It's like, just go with the guy that got you to this point. Everyone, like, I don't care if you double. I said this, and people didn't like that I said this. I don't care. I'm going to say it again. I would throw it with the game on the line. I'd throw it to Puka Nacua in quintuple coverage over going to Konate Mumfield in single cover. That's how I feel.
To your point, I think that on one of those with that, it might have been the Kyron wheel route, or I don't think it was the Ferguson route. They ran him as a decoy with Puka. He comes off the line of scrimmage and he stops at 3 yards, and they're anticipating him to get the 2 guys coming down in coverage. Okay. But that's not a very actifying, like, to your point, like, at least have my number 1 receiver running a true route where the option's on the table. Maybe he beats them both. Yeah. Maybe he does something correct. Maybe you see it's like the old bit from Old School. Maybe she's wearing something maybe he does something I don't even know. It's a little bit like that. And he's that kind of guy, right? Where he can make miracles happen sometimes. And so I agree. I don't like that part of it where you're looking to Devontae Adams. How many times this year so far with him on Woolen down by the red zone? You've had him isolated and been able to target him up on that and be successful. Why not go back to try to find a situation like that, especially put Puka to the other side and pull that double team to the other side? It was a very strange call. I think that they thought they just caught him in the right kind of look, but you're right. I mean, that's what super smart people do though sometimes, right? It's their negative, I guess, is that they can overthink things. It's kind of the first world problems, I guess you could say on that. But I think that's fair. Your criticisms, sorry, long-winded on that. But I think there's some of the things I've heard about the Rams with how he manages the games, I think with this, in addition to your points on this, I think are kind of fair with him. It doesn't make him anything less than still, like Zebot was saying, a grade A coach that any other team would love to have. And it's not you saying, of course, the other extreme side, we got to do better. And it's like, it's kind of a little like point of criticism within there, and it's nothing that he can't, kind of get figured out, I'm sure.
Oh, last thing, Clint Kubiak, masterclass. We both talked about, I don't know what he was doing the way he called that first game against the Rams. I don't get it to this day. You watch that game, you watch this game. Clint Kubiak learned from the mistakes he made in those first 2 games. I thought he was sensational. You look at the touchdown to JSN, he created that. There were moments in this game where I was just like, people are saying this dude sucks and Shula sucks. I'm like, you just got to tip your cap. That's a great play call. It was a great play call. The 2-point conversion to basically put us in this situation. That's a great play call. We talked about it. I gave you credit right after the game. I said, look, like this, you're not expecting, I'm totally blanking on his name right now, Sauber. You're not expecting Sauber to block and release there. So they weren't like ready for that. Like those are the things, like he did such a nice job of getting Chris Shula and just this defense to put him on skates, really. Whereas I feel like a lot of what Stafford did, and don't get me wrong, there was the pick play, and McVay had a lot of great calls, but I think a lot of what Stafford did is he was kind of creating throwing lanes with just his eye manipulation, But I mean, there were some incredibly drawn up plays by Clint Kubiak. And then Sam Darnold didn't really miss a throw. I mean, when you really think about it, he didn't really miss a throw. So it's the toughest loss because of what was on the line. It wasn't the toughest loss in the sense of what it was, because I thought both teams, it was two juggernauts going at it. Seattle didn't play their best defense. The Rams played a great offense. Seattle actually, was that the best Seattle offense all year? I mean, I without much of a run game, I thought Sam Darnold was sensational.
Yeah, it was the best passing attack this year, because there's been games we've had, I'm sure, with the running and the passing both kind of cooking up, but definitely passing, it didn't get better. To your point, there was no even turnover-worthy plays in there in the mix from Sam, really. So,
and pass protection clinic on both sides. Good God.
From the NFL fan perspective, with no dog in the fight, that was about as good of a game as you could ask for. And shout out to the Rams and the Seahawks, who treated us to 3 incredible games this year. Every single one came right down to the wire. All 3 were great games. Thank God those teams stepped up when the AFC teams couldn't. So from my perspective, it was awesome. And Mike, you were in the same boat as me in this one, where you didn't have a dog in the fight. So you're just hoping you get a good game, especially after watching that snoozer in the early window. We got a great game. Not only did we get a great game, though, Mike, we got a game that you predicted down to the point. You said Seattle 31, LA 27. That's exactly what wound up happening. You had the crystal ball, Mike. Talk to us about what you took away from these two top dogs in the division fighting for a Super Bowl spot.
Just real quick, I was trying to take an over and under and how long it would take for me to damn talk in this freaking podcast. 36 minutes in, you guys can talk. For the love of God. All right, let me get into this real quick. Yes, I predicted it. I had a lot of people come follow me here from your guys' respective team. And if you're looking at this, Joel, this came from my daughter, just FYI. So this game here, I did predict it down to the point, and I didn't even know I predicted it. Obviously, by the time that we're talking during this time, I'm kind of like, oh man, I'm so tired. So I just threw a number out there, 31-27, no guru or anything like that. I just threw something onto the wall, and it freaking worked for me. So yeah, I'll take my my wins where I can go ahead and get them. But yeah, this game was a very good game, and you're right, man. The snooze fest of what we saw in that in the AFC Conference Championship. Now, obviously, to the right, it was snowing. You know, the first quarter seemed pretty cool, but like it was crazy coming down. So I don't blame him at the end of the day for that low scoring event. Defense matchup, it is what it is. But yeah, that game, Seahawks versus the Rams, was a magnificent game from the top to bottom. Like that is what I hope the Super Bowl can amount to. Like, I'm going to be real. Like that is probably going to be the favorite. Whoever came out of the NFC was the favorite. And I heard Jake a little earlier, probably 20 minutes ago, saying that, you know, he had a hard time admitting the fact that the Seahawks were, you know, the better team at the point. And I get it, man. Like, you're a Rams fan, so you have to come into that perspective, but you kind of had your rose-colored glasses on, my guy, because I think a lot of people can tell that the Seahawks right now were winning in every level that they could, from special teams to the defense, and the defense had a bad game. Sam Darnold can have a good game. So like that team was just well equipped, and that's no disrespect to the Rams, right? And I know I'm known as a Rams hater, but like that's no disrespect to them. The Rams are a very, very good team. This came down to who made the most mistakes, right? And like I said before, those muff punts, man, like it's just, you cannot allow that to happen. And because he did it before, and then he allowed him to stay in the game, and then it actually cost him, like, those are the type of things you need to do mid-time adjustments, right? And the reason why I keep saying run Kyren, the whole like Blake Corum, Kyren, that situation is so stupid to me. Like, put your best running back out there. And I get it. Matthew Stafford is playing at an MVP level. They're putting in the ball in his hands, but that's what Sean McVay does. Like, that's so predictable. Sean McVay, if you want to go ahead and have a rule book on rule book 101 on how to beat Sean McVay, he's going to be Sean McPass at the end of in the biggest games possible. Like, that's what he does. Now, yes, Blake Corum ended up, you know, running the ball better in terms of stats wise goes, but like, you're in the biggest game to get to the Super Bowl. Use your best player. And I know Blake Corum's been playing better at the beginning of the year till now. I get that. But Williams is your best running back. Allow him to get into the rhythm and get there. But what? He carried the ball like 9 times in the conference champion. It's crazy to me, man. But yeah, I mean, it came down to mistakes at the end of the day. And I was looking at the stats here. Third down conversions. The Rams converted the ball 1 of 8 in third down. Seattle Seahawks 7 of 13. So I look at all those different type of things there. So obviously at the end of the day, the better team did win from top to bottom, from special teams to defense to, hell, Sam Darnold. Sorry, Jesse. But yes, at this very moment, Sam Darnold has proved me wrong as well. And I have been one of those guys that have been very critical on Geno as well as in Sam Darnold. So respect to where respect's due. The Seattle Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. I hate to say it. I hate to see it, especially Patriots versus Seahawks. Terrible matchup for me, but It is what it is. I'm just excited to watch a really good football game at the end of the day, eat some wings, hang out with my family, and I'm going to have a good time.
I think the worst part about it, Mike, I don't think we're going to get a very good football game. That's what I think. We'll talk about that next week, by the way. We will talk about that game a lot next week. Preview it, get predictions, the whole nine. In just a second. Mike.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Hopefully I'll be deep into enchiladas during that day, so I don't give a damn. Chicken wings and enchiladas.
I will be joining you, Mike, in that. And speaking of you, Mike, we're going to talk about your Arizona Cardinals in just a second. I want to talk about that coaching search. They are now one of only 3 teams remaining to have not hired a head coach. So we'll talk about what's going down there. Before we do, I just saw someone pop into the green screen. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they just got off their U-Haul and they got something they got to say. I can hear a bit of a cough. It's probably the Darnolditis. I'll see if he comes on camera in just a second here. But before I do, got to give a shout out to a bunch of my friends, including. Yeah, well, how about I bring my dear friends in with me while I give my shout out to our dear friends over at RotoWire, who got you covered with a ton of premium options with their premium subscription, tons of awesome tools, including my favorite, as you know, the NFL odds tool, where you can shop all of the best lines across all the major sports books all in one place. And folks, there's only one line remaining for the 2025 NFL season, and it is Super Bowl 60. And as you can see on your screen right now, the Seattle Seahawks are a 4.5 point favorite, opened up at 3.5. It's up to 4.5. Interested to see if that line continues to grow. And you can monitor that right here with the NFL odds tool over on RotoWire. That's just one of the many awesome features of a premium RotoWire subscription. Link in the description below. Click that and sign up for RotoWire. Once you do, use the promo code RTS and you will get a 15% off discount on that premium subscription. Let's head on over and give a shout out to our friends at Sleeper. Super Bowl 60 is already exciting enough, but Hawks fans and non-Hawks fans, let's make it a little more exciting by getting in on the action with a Sleeper slip. I went all in, as you can see, on my Seattle Seahawks here in the Super Bowl because I got them going to town on those frauds over in New England. I got Sam Darnold more than 228.5, Kenneth Walker to get into the end zone, JSN more than 94.5, and I got a feeling Drake May is going to be doing a lot of scrambling in this game. I got him more than 37.5 rush yards. That's my sleeper slip. You can tell that or, of course, create your own via the link in the description below. Click that, sign up for Sleeper. Once you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry. Once you use that entry, use the promo code on your screen, RTS, and that will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below. One more shout out, and that's to our friends over at Covered. Folks, the Seattle Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. What if I told you you could join them? You could go out to Santa Clara and watch the Seattle Seahawks take on the New England Patriots in person. You could do so completely free. That's courtesy of our friends over at Covered. Awesome new app. It's a finance app where they help you track your money, save up. And in addition to that, the best feature, they have this lifestyle feature where you can play games and win insane prizes. Right now, they have an Apple Vision Pro up on there, a bunch of stuff. But the most insane thing they have currently available, it is tickets to Super Bowl 60. All you do is click on that once you download the app, and you play a game that pops up. For me, it's usually this. It's not Flappy Bird. It's something of the sort. It's essentially the same thing as Flappy Bird. We all remember that game. You play that. You tap, tap, tap. You can tap your way.
It's Tappy Bird, isn't it?
Tappy Bird. Yeah, I think it's Tappy Bird. Whatever. Tappy Bird, Flappy Bird. How about taking that bird and flying all the way out to Super Bowl 60 for free? You can do so by playing a game. I mean, that's unbelievable. Go watch the big game for free by playing a game. Link in the description below. Shout out to our friends over at Covered. Download that app and get in on the action. Tons of amazing prizes you can compete for, including those tickets for Super Bowl 60. Get in on that. By the way, there's only like 500 people right now that have entered, so not a bad crack at getting the opportunity to go to the big game. All right, I see my main man, Jesse, back here. The camera's off. That might be because he can't get that Seahawks hat off. So maybe he kept the camera off. But
it gets
he's
stuck.
back here. I got a feeling he might have something to say. He's on mute. I'll give him a second here. I hear the car moving. That could be the U-Haul.
What's up, fellas?
What
there
up?
we go.
Do I sound all right?
Box movement.
You sound great.
You sound
All
good.
right, listen, I'm in the car. Shout out to Norb. We know how that used to go. Hey, fellas, so good to see you. I couldn't not at least call in and make a little bit of an appearance and congratulate Seahawks fans. Brandon, you guys deserve it, man. Awesome season. And listen, I watched that game on my phone while I was moving, and I thought the Rams were going to win. I really did. The first two games, I thought the Rams were clearly the better team, even though they didn't win that second game. But this game, Seattle was the clear better team. I mean, there was some fluky things that went even in the Rams' favor. The taunting penalty that kept that game closer than probably what it should have been, in my opinion. Seattle was the better team. And listen, man, as right as I was about Geno, I'm just as wrong about Sam frickin' Darnold. That dude balled all the way out. They trusted him so much that multiple, second downs down the stretch when they could have been running out the clock, they decided to throw the ball. That is full trust in Sam Darnold. He was absolutely dealing. One bad throw is all I can remember the whole game. NFC Championship, Super Bowl on the line. Sam Darnold is a G. He deserves all the credit in the world. And that's it, man. I just wanted to call in and congratulate you, Brandon. Congratulate Seahawks fans. And I think this show might go all off season long, so I'll save my 49ers takes for after the Seattle Seahawks probably win the Super Bowl. But not looking good over here in 49er fandom land, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, join the club, Jesse. Jesse knew the only cure for the Darnolditis was to come on here and give credit where credit's due.
Well, the other thing, Z-Bot, real quick, I even though I'm moving, I definitely didn't want – I know my team wasn't involved, but I've had a lot of opinions on Sam Darnold, and I feel like I would be ducking the smoke, even though it's justified as to why I'm not there. So at the very least, I had to call in and give credit where credit was due. Because sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. And when you're wrong, you got to own up to it. So there's that.
Jesse.
I gotta say, Jesse, it makes me super happy to hear you say that. I also noticed you did a short, which you did to your point, and your credit gave Sam credit right after the game. Was it purposeful to have your hair looking like Seahawks green? And that
it was I don't know what was going on there. All I know is 1.2 million people, now 1.3 million people on TikTok saw me giving mad credit to Sam Darnold in that poem. That's a little embarrassing.
You laughed at me, Jesse. I said you're gonna do numbers. He posts it up and the guy's viral with the poem, the Seahawks poem. He's taking over TikTok. Unbelievable.
It's awesome.
All right. Hey, Jesse, we wish you well with the move. How's the move going, by the way? Things going good?
It's going about as good as it can go. I put in 16 straight hours yesterday to get everything from the old house to the new house. And then today is like day one of unpacking. You know how that goes. The unpacking's over. So anyway, ready to go for next week. Can't wait for it. Fellas, have a beautiful night. And
thank you, brother.
God, I hate the Seahawks, but you guys deserve all the credit in the world, man.
Later, man.
Very
Peace.
kind of you to say, man.
Later, Jesse.
Thank you, brother.
You are as good as it gets. A class act as always. We appreciate you, brother. We look forward to having you back on next week. How about he knew it? He was coughing. He was down in the dumps, right? Had a bit of a fever. He knew what the anecdote was. He knew what he had.
Take it out of your system, man. It's the vitamin C and the D.
So we have shout out to Brando slipping that one in there. We got a lot to talk about, obviously, in this division always, and we still do, of course, as we pursue the Super Bowl with Brando's Seahawks being the lone remaining team in the NFC. But we do, of course, have some storylines to talk about in the non-Super Bowl contending teams. We'll swing it over to you here, Mike, where it's been a wild offseason, 10 head coach vacancies. You had 3 of the top 4 longest tenured head coaches in the NFL fired within a couple of weeks of one another. In fact, Mike, I went from, I was sick last week. So in the span of that, last time I saw you, the Bills fired, they lose in the divisional round, fire their coach and hire a coach. All throughout this time, the Cardinals had fired their coach long prior to that. They are still yet one of the only 3 remaining teams to have not hired their head coach. It's Arizona, Las Vegas, and Cleveland. Mike, update us on what's going on in Arizona and what you think we can expect to see come out of Arizona soon here. Who are they going to go with? Who are you leaning here? What's the vibe here in Arizona? Because Schefter said he wouldn't be surprised by Wednesday, which would be tomorrow, if all the head coach vacancy spots were filled. We'd have to assume based on that, something's around the corner here for Arizona and their new head coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes down to the coaching search for the Arizona Cardinals. We had a list of 16 different candidates for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, not all of them came in person or virtual. It just was requests, right? Like we had some sort of request to meet these guys that were out there. Robert Saleh being one of them, Jeff Hafley, Jesse Minter, Joe Brady was a pretty late one there as well. But we all know that they went to some different respective teams. But man, the Arizona Cardinals literally casted a wide net. Like Michael Bidwell, the owner, and Monty Ossenfort did say that that's what they were going to do. And that's exactly what they did. I'm telling you, like it's a list of just names after names of people that are like, okay, that's cool. But then people are like, what the heck? No, I don't want Matt Nagy. Heck no, I don't want Arthur Smith. Get him out of here. Right. It's a crazy list that we have right now. The top candidates, at least what was dwindled down per Adam Schefter, we ended up hearing him come out and say Raheem Morris was one of those guys that he considered as a finalist for the Arizona Cardinals, right? Former head coach for the Bucks as well as the Atlanta Falcons. And for what he did to his respected right in those 2 years, he had already a better record than Jonathan Gannon. So I had my eyes open, right? But obviously he's not the top of my list, but he was a part of the finalists as well as defensive coordinator from the Jags, Anthony Campanelli, which honestly, when I saw that viral clip, and I'm not sure if you guys know what I'm talking about, but is when he was a linebackers coach with the Miami Dolphins. That clip got so many Arizona Cardinal fans excited with the opportunity to potentially get your next Bruce Arians, right? The potty mouth, brash, type of persona. That's what people really kind of fell in love with, but it almost kind of came crashing down when we ended up seeing that the Jacksonville Jaguars end up coming out and saying that Anthony Campanelli is indeed out of the race and he is staying as a defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is that because he knows the Cardinals are going to go a specific direction, or did he just pull his name out of the hat because he's like, I don't want to go there, right? Multiple questions to be put out there. Another thing I want to throw out there, Diana Rossini came out today and said that the Cardinals interviewed Riverboat Ron Rivera. What the? It's just, you think you know what the Cardinals are going to do, and then they just throw you a freaking curveball and hit you right in the nuts, man. I don't know what this team exactly is doing. When they threw Ron Rivera in there, my initial reaction was like, okay, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. I'm not going to really look too much into it with the Ron Rivera thing. I think the number one candidate right now that is kind of looking to be that guy, Jake, if you want earmuffs, if you want, if not, no worries. Mike LaFleur. The Arizona Cardinals ended up bringing him in on Monday, the day after the conference championship, for a 2-day interview, Monday and Tuesday. They took him out to dinner last night, per Albert Breer. And it's trending that he probably is going to be the guy for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm not going to say 100% certainty, right? Because you still have Raheem Morris. Some people are trying to rumor, Vance Joseph in the mix, right? But right now, it feels like Mike LaFleur is potentially going to be the guy for the Arizona Cardinals. And one thing I've noticed about the Cardinals as well, whenever there's an announcement about, this is the guy, right? And Joe Brady was the announcement earlier that he is now the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. The Cardinals kind of seem to stop and kind of go back. It seems like they kind of want a little bit of the attention. So maybe tomorrow morning we'll get some information that Mike LaFleur is going to be the guy. Like I said, it's not 100%, but that right now feels like the trend that the Cardinals are going to be going for, and that's the offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur of the Rams, of the Rams right now. So that's the update from the long list of coaching searches. But like I'm telling you, man, we had people from Matt Nagy to Anthony Weaver to Thomas Brown, Arthur Smith, Matt Burke, Joe Brady, Chris Shula, the Cardinals were at least reached out to as well. But right now, the favorite amongst Cardinal fans, I would probably have to put it being Mike LaFleur right now.
You know, Mike, that's quite
real
the
quick,
list.
Can I ask Mike real quick?
Of course.
Do you have your feeling on this that going in, if I'm a Cardinal fan, I have a worry about this with the ownership factoring in and limiting us in our options of what coaches we can maybe go get? As the process is played through, is if you had to lean towards one or the other of it being exhaustive or being about the fact that this has been a process where you've been sort of turned down like the girl at the dance, going to each boy going, me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Which do you go towards on that?
I always compare this to always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I almost kind of feel like we never. It sucks because I think morally we're beat down. You know what I mean? As Cardinal fans, like we just kind of learned to accept that Michael Bidwill is a scum F. But he's going to do what he wants to do, and he's going to spend his money on jets and whatever the hell he seems fit. It doesn't seem like he's truly wanting to win, but it does suck as a Cardinals fan to go into a coaching search where you have these big top tier names out there, right? Like Sean McDermott or Mike Tomlin or Harbaugh, and you don't feel like you're in the mix, right? But obviously the reciprocation from them as well is they probably don't want to go to a quote unquote rebuild. So we understand that. We don't want anybody that doesn't want to be here. So we get that sense of it all. But yeah, we get the exhaustion feeling as well of like, just damn, like it's cool to have a nice little content, right? Pipe dream. But that's kind of what it is at the end of the day. It's a pipe dream, unfortunately.
You know, you did mention a ton of names, Mike. You listed off a ton of names. One name I didn't hear you mention, Phillip Rivers. Are you guys going to be bringing him in anytime soon? And is there any chance he could get the head coaching job? No, in all seriousness,
this
Mike.
Close, Ebot. This close, buddy.
Don't I know it? Don't I know it? We'll see if he gets an advisory role of some degree, which I actually would kind of like, by the way. I think that would be fun. But Mike,
it's a lot different.
A lot different. A lot different, believe me. Mike, it's been over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I guess I just got to come out and ask it in a bold way. How does it make you and the Cardinals fans feel that you're among the Raiders and the Browns as the last remaining teams to hire a head coach? Is the fan base looking at this and saying, like, man, are we really down with are we rolling in the dirt with these guys now? Is that where we're at? Or is there still optimism?
I mean, the optimism is as high as it gets when it comes down to, like, when you look at roster per roster, you do think that you have a level of, your roster is better, but like, I'm not going to ignore the fact that the Cardinals have so many question marks, right? And one of the biggest question marks is the quarterback. What are they going to do with Kyler Murray? How does any big time coach or any coach that have any experience going to be jumping at the table to potentially go with a team that doesn't even know what they're going to do with Kyler Murray? Because I truly don't believe they even know what they're going to do with Kyler. And that's the problem. So, Cardinal fans are, I guess, bought into the idea about Mike LaFleur being the guy for just a sliver of hope that maybe there might be some sort of unlocking of Kyler Murray, right? Now, even if the Cardinals don't go in that direction, Cardinals are the 3rd overall pick in this draft, and there's no other quarterback that you're going to be taken in the top 5, top 10, with the exception of Fernando Mendoza. And right now, I feel like, unfortunately, the Raiders have a little bit of an edge on us because they have at least a little bit of a clear path. So if Kubiak did come out and it came down to the Cardinals and the Raiders, he probably would choose that direction. And I don't blame him one bit. Now, is he coming out? We don't know, right? We don't know if he's going to get signed or not. There's rumors that the Raiders are going to be the favorite to land him, but also the Cardinals we shouldn't be playing a gambling game, because if you do have somebody like Mike LaFleur and you really want to go that route, you kind of need to pull the trigger. Like we're not a organization that seen as a dream destination. Unfortunately, people call us the NFC or the Browns of the NFC. And as long as you keep losing, you're going to keep having that bad reputation on you. And the Cardinals need to find a coach like we had with Bruce Arians and get us back into the winning side. Once that gets fixed, I think it all gets solved. But right now, it's a bad look, right, from the national perspective and just the national perception of this organization. So, it is what it is. I would be happy with the LaFleur, if I'm going to be real with you, because Campanelli ended up, pulling his name out. That's kind of our savior right now. Let's be real.
Well, it's one of the many storylines, Jake.
Do you remember, Mike? I did tell you that Mike LaFleur would be a good hire. I actually liked him more than Shula. Do you remember that? Yeah,
yes. And then I also did say that I think a week prior I made a video to all your coordinators. I poached all every single one of those guys already. Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean no disrespect to Shula. But I feel like Mike LaFleur was ready after the Jets, and the Jets tanked his name. Yeah. And especially the Elijah Moore stuff, which look at Elijah Moore's career and look at Mike LaFleur's career, and you tell me who actually was the issue.
Yeah.
And so I just want to add to this. I think LaFleur, you'd be getting a good head coach. I think he's somebody who's been with Kyle Shanahan, he's been with Sean McVay. There's a reason why, Robert Saleh wanted him to come with him to the Jets. I think he also gives you the best opportunity of the guys that are remaining to build a really good staff. Right. And I think that's the really underrated aspect of, hiring a head coach. Because Brandon, is Clint Kubiak, he's out of all of them, right? He pulled out of all of them.
I've got a buddy down in Senior Bowl, got me some inside sources with an NFL insider down there, kind of like in line at the blah, 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 right? And he asked him directly about it, and he's told him, an insider you'd know, that it's his understanding that right now the Raider job's kind of on the table, and Kubiak's kind of going, maybe I'll stay.
I would say.
It's about what you'd expect on, he's turning it over. So I don't know if that's the truth, but that's the latest I've heard.
Huh. Yeah. So, I'm not with everybody. I actually think the Cardinals is somewhat of a desirable job. I think that's a team that lost 7 possession games last year. I think obviously being in the NFC West sucks, right? Yeah. It hurts your chances, but at the same time, it's going to be a little bit low pressure. Whereas if you're the Browns, you see the way the Steelers are barely getting into the playoffs, and the Ravens don't look great, and the Bengals don't look great. I think the Browns are going to be expected to do more, right? And then you look at the Raiders, and you're like, well, the Chiefs fell off. Even the Chiefs can have a bad year, and the Broncos, all of us. Why can't we be them? So I think, especially with Tom Brady. So I think that I think the Cardinals are the best job remaining, and I think they were a better job than the Dolphins' job. And
we're really going out on a limb there, Jake.
Well,
very thin.
But here's the thing, though. I do think that
sorry, I had to. That was low hanging fruit.
Well, yeah, of course. But I think that they have some good options, and I know you're gonna laugh at me. I would still hire Shieldhouse out of all those guys. I think he's legit. I'm saying it right now. I think the Browns are going to hire him. Now, I would implore Shieldhouse to be smart here. I know he's going to want his own guy at defensive coordinator. You have one of the best defensive coordinators in football in Jim Schwartz. Just roll with him. I understand, you want your guy. I get it. Jim Schwartz is not a guy I'm just trying to displace like that. And I think that defense, that defense is not the issue. You go in there, Shieldhouse has a chance to turn some heads, and they could win the division next year if they fix their offense, because that defense is legit. With the Cardinals, like I said, the 7 possession games, right? But I think with Shula, with LaFleur, you have the coaching staff. I do believe it's going to be LaFleur, Mike. I've been told it's pretty much going to be LaFleur. The Rams are anticipating losing him. And Shieldhouse will have to make a decision whether or not he wants to take the Browns job if it's there. And right now he's the favorite. The Browns job, or he'd be the offensive coordinator for the Rams, or he would go maybe take the Eagles job and be the play caller. But I think the Eagles offensive coordinator job is the least wanted job in the entire league, because no one wants to. It's actually kind of funny because they just won a Super Bowl and no one wants to work with Nick Sirianni. Right? No one wants to be there. So yeah, with LaFleur though, I think you could get a good coaching staff in there, and you have that first round pick that's going to be a lot higher. It's not like this is a team that just traded away a bunch of first round picks to go up and get a guy that and then your season didn't work out. I think there are some things there you can build upon. This is a much better scenario, I think, for LaFleur than the Raiders or the Browns, personally. And I think that it's going to suck to have a Ram guy, once again, the NFC West, but I think it's a smart move, and I want to see this division get as tough as possible personally, because it helps our show. And I also feel bad for Arizona fans, especially you. Appreciate it. So I think this would be a good hire, man. I think this would be something to celebrate. You'd feel good about. And don't sleep on him, because he was one of the top candidates when he was leaving Shanahan's staff to go with Saleh, and it was pretty much a slam dunk he was going to be a head coach the following year. I'm telling you, that's the 1 year I covered the Jets. Do not let the Jets ruin this guy's name. I'm telling anybody that I've talked to about him with the Rams, he is very well liked, and he's been around a lot of talented minds, and he deserves a lot of credit for what this offense has done too. Because it's not a plug and play position, and I think a lot of people just assume you have Sean McVay calling the plays. Offensive coordinator doesn't do lick. No, he does a lot, and he called Week 18, by the way.
No, I know that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you wanna go through, I mean, he called Week 18. I think that's definitely fair, and best of luck, because I like him, and I'll be rooting for him to have success.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and the Jets, real quick, before you jump in, Z-Bot, they had Zach Wilson during that time. I don't blame them. I don't blame him one bit. So with that being said, go ahead, Z-Bot.
Woody Johnson was the owner. I'm over any player at this point. Woody Johnson, you're not winning with him.
Please hire Ron Rivera. Please hire Ron Rivera.
No, please. Mike, don't do it.
We're stop.
He's the most overrated coach in the history of the sport.
Don't give me that bad juju.
Well, credit where credit's due. I hadn't heard Shieldhouse's name ever. And Jake said it, and it's all I saw the next day. Unbelievable. I got to give credit where credit's due. Now, all we're doing is monitoring whether or not that cotton candy guy who did record sales is also going to get a job too. We are keeping our eye on that as well. Obviously, Mike, the Cardinals' job, one of the biggest offseason stories in the NFC West. If Adam Schefter has anything to say about it this time next week while we're previewing the Super Bowl, in all likelihood, we could be talking about who is the new Arizona head coach moving into 2026. We are moving into the best part of the show. Brandon, I'm sure that applause button got a workout over the weekend, but if you wouldn't mind hitting it one more time for me, it is time. It is Super Chat time. We kick things off with just my opinion. Who you going to call? Who are you going to call? You going to call Ghostbusters?
He's got Sam Ghostbuster there. Look at that, huh?
Well played.
Yeah. Looking good there.
Well
Looking
played.
good. And we had a couple. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the love I have seen for Sam Darnold, rightfully so, online. And like a guy who gets memed into oblivion, now it's all these like awesome, wholesome, fun memes like that. Like it's all you see. Like I saw one today from ESPN, the mononucleosis one where it says out indefinitely. It said in, comma, definitely Super Bowl 60. Thought that was genius.
He's an easy guy to root for, man, to your point too, right? There's some athletes who are kind of like, they got a bit of brashness that's kind of can rub you off, or arrogance, or they're dickish. This is just a guy that, from the way he's wired, where it's like, just be one of the guys, be a leader. Don't be about me. Don't draw attention to yourself, but do all the stuff I need you to do as far as being a quarterback leader too. It's like all the work that is not the most high profile stuff. I want you doing that. He does it all, and it's so cool to see in him, and it makes, again, easy to really, root for.
Him and Josh Allen are best buddies. Too bad their play date for Super Bowl 60 got canceled.
We got to, just real quick, this happens to us each time, and it's not for this dono. We have a couple of donos you weren't able to see, Z-Bot, because they put the donos in just as we come in at the top. So we got I can't post them because I don't have the I don't have the Jesse access thing he's got. But just a couple donos I'm going to mention. We don't have them posted, but I'm going to just acknowledge them here. We got Brent with the $2 dono. Better, more complete team won. Thursday night football wasn't a fluke. I think he's right about that there. And then thank you for that, Brent. Good to see you in the house. Kazda Don with a $2 donation says, rip their hearts right out, Brando. Whose house? Hawk's house. That's what we're changing by the name, Z-Bot. We made a determination that I think we collectively decided all of this in the roundtable, that if the Hawks win in Levi Stadium, if we get Super Bowl before the 49ers in their own house, that it's now the Hawks house.
Hell yeah. That's great. I mean, you got to do it. You got to do it to him, Brando. You got to do it to him.
See, that's it. That's at least the thing that's at least, I guess, I just said at least way too many times, but you can salvage that if you're a Rams fan, knowing that you did what Seattle just did to the Rams, you did to win the Super Bowl, because the 49ers had the Rams number, and then when it mattered, the Rams beat them. So that is the one thing. If you're a 49er fan, there is nothing here. You do not win anything here. There's no. You're praying to God that the Patriots somehow find a way to turn it. Tom Brady somehow just, goes right into all of his talent just goes right into, Drake May. And all of a sudden Drake May can process a playoff defense, because I have yet to see him do it.
You and me both. Was that it for the pre-show supers, Brando?
Those were all the pre-shows. Yeah. Sorry about that. There's
no worries, brother. Thanks for checking the boxes there. Once again, I know it's tough. For some reason, YouTube just doesn't like to play fair with me. So they want to make my job difficult. When you hit live, that's when the super chats show up. For whatever reason, beforehand, they don't. So just for moving forward, but Brando always is right on it. And I'm glad we were able to get to those. Andrew, thank you, guys. Z-Bot is white again.
Yikes.
What a time to be alive. Yes. Back better than ever. John May, Jake, thoughts on the Athletics Cup article. And you touched on this a little bit earlier, Jake.
Yeah, Brandon, I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't know if you know him personally, so I'm not trying to put you in a bad spot. I think Mike Silver's a shit starter. I've always felt that way.
I do. You see him, just remember, he's just his energy on the field when he's interacting with players. He's got that even just, it's almost a douchey-ish. I think I said this. He was one of those old school writers that was in engagement farming before engagement farming was a thing.
I've gotten into arguments with him on Twitter since the days Goff was drafted. And I remember how unprofessional he was to me when I said that I thought Carson Wentz was the better prospect and the Rams should draft Carson Wentz. He said, "You're out of your mind. Also, they're drafting Goff, the better quarterback." And I know this because I went to Cal. And I was just like, okay, so basically you're biased. Mind you, I didn't go to North Dakota State, never once been to North Dakota, and I didn't go to Cal either. So I had no stake in the game. But I'll tell you, he had a lot of access. He's really good friends with Jeff Fisher, and the Rams fired Jeff Fisher. They also drafted Jared Goff his last year there. So he had his buddy from California, and he had Jeff Fisher, his coaching buddy. The Rams traded Goff, and they fired Jeff Fisher. So what do you think happens? Well, let's just put it this way. I've never once seen Mike Silver ever give the Rams credit. It's always a negative slight on them. You would think that they are the worst run organization in the sport. One thing I'll tell you is I've heard from a lot of players that have left the Rams and maybe not on the best of terms. They all say Sean McVay is the man. They're like, Sean McVay, that culture, it's real. There's never been a better coach to work with. And I think it's really kind of sad that Silver had a chance to write a really, really good piece telling a story. See, I think Brandon would have done a better job of this, but he had the access, so he could have wrote a really good piece on the journey of Seattle going from a team that, here's your story, they lost to the Rams last year in Week 18, knowing that they actually missed the playoffs in Week 17. Their season was over on the final play. And he could have wrote a story about that. How you go from, you're playing a meaningless game for pride. You move on from a top receiver for a lot of people in the league. I think DK Metcalf's overrated, but that's neither here nor there. Top receiver, you're starting quarterback, and they basically started new to a degree with that offense, right? They added new pieces, all of that. You could have wrote a really good story because the Seahawks, they're an impressive football team that built this team. And I mean, I said it during the draft, Brandon. I said straight up, I mean, what Schneider did in this draft, this was like really impressive. I thought they absolutely ran circles around the NFC West, and I was right. I didn't, I thought the Rams had a good draft because of the draft pick, acquiring that. We talked about that, but I didn't love the Rams draft. And so here we are, we're talking about Seattle, and you got this guy who has been doing this for a long time, and he chooses to be negative. And he chooses to, instead of having Kupp, who, by the way, is one of the more humble guys in the league, he tries to put Kupp in a light where he's taking shots at his former team. I just didn't really think that was a good look. And I don't think that was fair. I know some Seahawks fans love it, the rivalry, all of that. I don't think that was a fair way to encapsulate what they have accomplished. I think there were better ways to go about that. And the whole, making the Rams look bad and also making Kupp look like he has, any sort of, I just didn't like it, Brandon. I didn't. And I also don't really believe it's very valid just from who I've talked to about Mike Silver.
I gotta say, I hope the part's true about the coaches almost coming to blows though in the elevator, because that
kind of made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm like, well, like what?
It was such a random part of it.
Yeah, there are weird stories out there. This stuff happens. I mean, I remember the Starbucks thing. Like, I'm friends with Jordan Schultz. Like, I remember the Starbucks thing with him and Ian, I believe it was Ian Rappaport in Indianapolis. There are some funny stuff that comes to pass, and you're like, there's no way that's real. And then you find out, oh my God, that is real. I wouldn't rule that out, but
I liked it. Man, let's go.
But yeah,
it's intensity.
But I don't know, the whole, like, the Ernest Jones thing. I think there's two sides to every story. I just know Mike Silver, regardless, this is not a Seahawks dig or anything. I just know he's always going to tell the side that's opposite of the Rams. Just from my experience, because he's bitter. I don't know if he got banned, but I know I haven't really seen him around the Rams in their pressers and stuff like I used to all the time when Jeff Fisher was there.
SZ Koken. To no one's surprise, Jesse the anti-Samite is hiding.
Oof.
Coming down with a little bit of that Darnolditis, but Jesse did stop by to pay his respects. Kaz Dadon. Shout out to the Rams MVP. Clay Martin fought as hard as he could to keep the Lambs in it. M.O.B. Gregory Campbell. Jake, I still believe they are the best like you do. We beat ourselves again, which proves the Rams are the only team that can beat the Rams.
I don't like, and I appreciate the super, of course. But I don't like that because I feel like that discredits what Seattle did. The Rams shot themselves in the foot, but also you got to give credit for like the job Clint Kubiak did to put the defense into a tailspin. It's why I don't really like the ref comment, because I think there were calls on both sides, and that's no issue. I have no issue with it whatsoever. There were people that wanted the face mask. It's blatant. Didn't care. I just want to see a game won by the players, and I felt like I got that. So I have no issue with the refs, but I don't like the whole we beat ourselves and all this. I guess it's one way to make yourself feel better about it. But I have no issue admitting, like, Seattle, like, the Rams came up short. Seattle won the game. There wasn't like any of this, if the Rams do this, but we could play the what if game all day. If Sean Payton kicks a field goal, before the environment gets to be shit, maybe the Broncos are in the Super Bowl. We could play the what if game all day. That's just the reality of it. So, credit to Seattle. They won the game. Beating ourselves thing, I think it holds more merit during the regular season, but if you're still beating yourself in the postseason, that's just who you are.
It is the best username on YouTube. It's Bronze Sausage. You guys rule. Can't believe we made it. I'm going 34-20 Hawks, but I'm nervously waiting for the Super Bowl. Go Hawks. You guys are awesome. Bronze Sausage, you're even more awesome. Thanks for stopping by, as always.
Thank you, man.
Hawks Coots. What's good? Put some respect on Darnold's name, Jesse. He teabagged your take. Wow.
Oh, my God.
It's one way to put it. We got Tommy Cox. I still can't believe McDonald is in his second year, and I thought Seattle was a year away. 4th Super Bowl. People need to eat their words about 7 wins. Yeah. Many were wrong about the Seattle Seahawks.
Where was the 7 wins coming from? I just don't get it.
I don't know.
I didn't either this offseason. I couldn't figure, especially look at the schedule ahead with this, what we were facing on a presumptive, not just Seahawks schedule, but the NFC West schedule of the common opponents. You're going
after the draft and
yeah, we all could have retired by October if we just put some coin on it. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. We could have just put the 401k on that, boys. We would have been doing this show from the hill somewhere.
That's one of those. I don't even think I realized it until Brandon said it. It was too late at that point, and I'm just like, yeah, that was free money. Were they banking on the entire team getting injured by week 8? I don't get how you would ever have that team winning 7 games.
Well, they're not going to be.
Showed you the lack of faith in Darnold out there as it even extended down to Vegas.
That's the key. And you'll never see a line like that for Seattle again, or at least it's going to take some time for that to get back down to where that was this year. Dylan Sosa. Jake, much respect, man, but I don't agree with you on saying LA deserved it more. Number 9 already had his Cinderella story, his first year with LA. It's Sam's turn now, especially since everybody said he can't do it. That includes the Las Vegas betting books, because as we know, we just talked about it.
I don't remember saying the
line.
Rams deserved it more. Maybe I said it after, like 5 minutes after I just watched them lose and I was upset, but I don't think I said it on this show.
The Warhammer. Imagine saying you're the best team in the league after losing twice to the real best team. Hawks are about to have the best run in Seattle history. Just my opinion.
Amen.
Calls out number 14 all year, then bails after he slays. Good for Jesse. He knew what was coming. He knew it was coming, and he stopped by, which was really smart on his end. Shout out to Jesse. Corey, Darnold having a Flacco 2.0 season. I think it's even better, to be honest with you, the way we're seeing things right now.
Did Flacco throw for 350 on a? I mean, I might have. I kind of forget. He did have a good run, and quarterbacks have gotten really hot at times in postseason, but that's part of that thing with this Darnold performance, is that this wasn't just him fitted into 18 to 27 and 225 yards and a touchdown. It's like you had to have him throw with no running game and no defense. Where I think if Joe Flacco doesn't have that with any of those Ravens teams, he's losing every one of those playoff games.
If I remember correctly, he had an epic comeback against Pittsburgh really late. The score was like 13-10 with a couple minutes left. The game wound up finishing in the 30s. That was like the vintage moment. They had like a walk-off touchdown. But what Darnold's doing right now, and this is some unprecedented stuff. Andrew, from one Hawks fan to another, congrats, Brando. We made it, brother. All the Darnold doubters and haters were just the friends we made along the way. Tommy Cox,
yes, sir,
Jake,
Andrew.
the
Thank
Rams
you,
are a great team, and it's too bad one team had to lose. I still think Stafford is the MVP, but JSN is Offensive Player of the Year, and that, no disrespect for Puka. And I think we can say wholeheartedly we just watched the two best receivers, at least this past year, in the game on Sunday, and they played like it.
I know Drake May's not the MVP. I know I sound like a hater, but he has played 3 of the worst playoff games I've ever seen a quarterback play. That was on a team that was going to the Super Bowl. I mean, it was not good. It really wasn't.
No, we wondered all year with that schedule, and I got some stats, and I'll show this next week about the schedule they played through and the strength of schedule they played through. But we wondered about this part going to the playoffs, and I think it's proven out that was a big boon to that team throughout the course of this year.
They played 11 teams, they played 11 teams who wound up firing their head coach. Or they had 11 games against teams that fired their head coach, including my Buffalo Bills. I would tell 2 of them. Britch, Rams get Shaheed, and we win Thursday and Super Bowl. Good going, Hawks. Shout out to Megan, dropping off a tangerine for the fellas.
Oh, Megan! You sweetie?
Meg saying, free from the miss of New South Wales, Australia. Am currently traveling home from where I watched the game in full Hawks rig and had many drinks brought for me. Guests were at the Buzzards as we feasted on the Rams' bones. Wow, well said. Meg was drinking good and she was eating good. Chowing down on those Rams on Sunday. Shout out to you, Meg. Thank you as always for stopping by, and congrats to your Hawks. Jonah, not to be confused with John Naylor. Jonah saying, preach on Brando. Sam has a high ceiling. By the way, shout out to Johnny Naylor, who's been stopping by over the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel as of late.
Go, John.
Checking out the chaos that's been going on in Buffalo. John likes to watch other dysfunction while his Hawks go to the Super Bowl, and I appreciate that.
Same here, too. He's been on my stream, too. Good guy.
Love that.
He's a
Tommy
good
Cox.
man.
Darnold impressed me Sunday night. JSN too. I mean, if you weren't impressed by that, then I just think you are a stone cold hater. Mark Sanchez, good to see you, Mark. Jesse is watching 89ers highlights in Candlestick. Hawk fans 1 win away from Sam raising the Lombardi in Santa Clara. Shout out to you, Mark, member for 5 months. Thanks so much as always for supporting the channel. We appreciate you. Brent, only one seeing ghosts was Rams linebacker getting K9 juked.
Tell me that didn't look like John Lynch with Barry Sanders in the hole in 93. Tell me that didn't look like that. Man, he didn't get a hand on him in the hole. Didn't touch him. in the hole.
I was -2, so unfortunately I can't tell you that. But no, I don't know what Omar was doing. He just basically was like, and then he just stood there. I was man, that was.
He was drinking it in. He's like a guy gets dunked on after a 360 behind the bag.
That stuff, by the way, people are saying Shula should get fired for. I'm like, what should he get fired for?
Yeah.
What is he supposed to do? They can get him to tackle.
You want him to go out there and tackle him himself? I mean, good Lord.
Randy, how about them Seahawks? How about them, Randy?
Go, Randy.
It's Jester. I love our division. Rams and Niners have been a blast to watch, and I hope the Cardinals join the rest of us in greatness. Let's go Seahawks. Freddie K. Boom Baseman. I'm singing the blues now, but an amazing game faux show. Kudos to the Seahawks. I'll be a Patriot fan for a day, though. You don't got to be, Freddie. I'm telling you, you don't. They got
Come on,
plenty.
Freddie. Come on over here for a day.
Walk on the wild side,
see
Freddie.
See how it is in the Seattle waters.
You don't want me
Dip
on
the
your
toe
side.
in.
I was on your side the last time. I rooted for the Seattle Seahawks to beat the. I could not stand the Patriots, and yeah, it didn't go well for me. It didn't go well for you either.
Somebody already photoshopped the Bills logo with the neon green and the navy blue and the silver, and I just saw a Patriots account quote tweet it, and it was funny. You can't help but laugh. It just said, "My God, this is so sad." And I just was reading, and I'm like, "Yeah, it is sad, but damn it, I'm part of the 12s on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't give a damn." Cal Vineyard, respect to all the teams in the division. However, it's total BS saying that this game doesn't prove the Hawks are a better team. And I think that we came to a consensus that the Hawks were the better team in that game. I don't think anybody's arguing against that. Maybe throughout the duration of the season, there certainly were arguments, but when it came down to the biggest moment, the Hawks were the better team. Jay Gundy, Jake, to say Seattle hasn't had dark eras or whatever wording you used is crazy work.
It was more so in my lifetime. I should have specified that because it was my live stream. I was saying in my lifetime, the Rams, because, I get called, it's funny, I would have killed for this when I was a kid in high school and middle school, but yeah. I get called a bandwagon fan all the time now because I'm a Yankee, Laker, Rams, Jayhawks. Like, people are like, oh, you just like all the bandwagon teams. It's like, dude, I remember watching like freaking Gus Frerotte throw 6 interceptions in a game. Okay. Like I am not a bandwagon Rams fan. I can assure you, I could recite every single quarterback that has been under center in my lifetime. So basically what I was saying is that there was somebody that came into the chat and I forget exactly what they said, but they're like, yeah, the Rams, like, you guys have had it all and you get all the calls. And since you moved to LA, you won a title. It's like everything goes in your favor. I'm like, well, hold on a sec. It was like, you guys haven't been bad my entire lifetime. Like, the Rams were horrendous for most of my life. I got the greatest show on turf until I was 6, 7 years old. And then they were just rubbish after that. And then finally I got out of, high school and they hired the guy I wanted them to hire. Look at this. Now they're good. Now I'm getting called a bandwagon fan.
Now that's the that's like you said, that's the sign you're doing something right. When you finally get to that point where people are calling you a bandwagon, especially when you go through the trials and tribulations that some of these organizations have put us fans through. Megan stopping back in again. Sorry for the spelling in the last message. Am traveling. Meg, we worked our way through it. Don't you sweat it. We got it. We appreciate you. Garth Knight. Closed circuit cameras have Jesse racing Lyle Shanahan to the Senior Bowl in a Kia Rio. ETA, God only knows. Mark Sanchez, we're dumping 40 on this team. Drake May isn't the MVP. We played the MVP twice, and we came out victorious. The best D scared of May. No shot, Mark. Well said about my Hawks.
Well said, Mark. Let's go, man. And that is, I agree, by far Stafford the best MVP. By far the MVP. Yeah, sorry.
But you watched it play out. I mean, I know it has nothing to do with the voting, but you just watched it play out. You watched. The fact that there is even an argument to this is just ungodly to me. And it really separates the ideology among sports fans when you go online. And you really have a tough time separating whether these people genuinely believe this stuff or they're just saying it because they can't get out of their own fandom. But you just watch what an MVP quarterback looks like and what one doesn't on one afternoon when the lights were the brightest. And I know it doesn't matter in the voting, but I think we could all agree.
Sam
John,
Darnold in 5
he's mastered
passes.
the position. He's mastered the position. Like he does so many things even beyond just the throws that this is the part they don't do any of that. Like the quick snaps. How many snaps he steals from defenses just coming up the line of scrimmage and just getting the ball snapped before they're in position, and that's all on him. Or his ability to manipulate them with the eye manipulation and getting the defense that way, and other younger quarterbacks can. There's so many extra things beyond just the big throw, the big arm, the ability to make every throw in the book, the manipulating the ball in the air, sidearm throws, the no-look passes. It's all of it.
If you had skipped the entire regular season and only watched the postseason, and I asked you, who is the MVP candidate amongst this group, or who are the MVP candidates at quarterback, you would have rattled off at least what? 4 or 5 quarterbacks before you got to Drake May, maybe that. And I know there was some bad performances. CJ Stroud, it couldn't have gotten much worse than what he put on display. But I mean, I don't think anyone was watching this postseason thinking you were watching a most valuable player caliber quarterback. And I know they made the Super Bowl. How about giving some credit to that historic defense and what they just did over the last month? But no, 5 touchdowns, five turnovers. It's all the credit to Drake May. It'll never cease to blow my mind. And yes, I have sour grapes. John,
I'm like starting to hear the Bills fan in
yeah.
I
know.
was like, damn.
I got to calm down a little bit. I'm just so pissed this is reality right now. You guys have no idea.
I like Drake May, but I can't unsee the whole Drake May. Like that, after that, I started to have some kind of negativity towards him. I'm not going to lie.
That's the thing. It's like, it's not even him, or it's not Vrabel. It's not anybody. It's just the fact that it's the Patriots. If the guy played for the Browns, I'd be his biggest supporter. Like, yes. Is it because he's a Patriot? 110%. John May, Brando, Seahawks defense against top-tier quarterbacks this year. Stafford, 29 points average. Mayfield, early season when he was great, 35 points. Now May, any concern there? Well, I think we just talked about top-tier quarterbacks. I don't know if we're going to put him in that Stafford category, Brando.
I got a great answer for that. And if you take through the first 2 years of Mike McDonald here through these 2 years, go look at his performance against quarterbacks either in their first year or in their second year, and look what he's done to them. It's a whole nother, and the difference between that and a Baker and Stafford, been in the league for many years and have had times to learn about all those type of wild variances of stacked boxes and simulated pressures coming from here, going to there, back end secondary spinning in every different circle. He doesn't have the handle on it in year 2. He just doesn't. And that's why Mike's been able to dominate these kind of matchups in the last 2 years. And I think he probably will do again here in a couple weeks.
We got Fright Night. Someone burned that flipping wheel. We talking about the curse wheel here?
Burn his curse wheel.
Yeah. Who was on it? I didn't see.
Rams got.
Oh, man. Curse wheel claims yet another one. We have Seahawks at it. Have fun in Cancun, Kip. Oh, my God.
Jeez.
The Rams aren't the better team, or else they would have won, dummy. Oh,
I know, guys. He look, when he comes after the game, what you say after the game, you're in your motion. He came on today and he fully
he did.
owned up. He fully came up and said, look, credit to Seahawks. So I know I think somewhat the reaction here, Jake, is they're reacting to a little bit of your instant reaction as they let me know in my chat. But look, we're all in the moment after a game turning everything over. You get some time to think about it. You're going to, move in different ways with it, but we got to give Jake credit here. He stood up and he gave full to his, full credit here on this team.
And he showed up. He
showed up.
And he showed up. That in itself is feeling like that's feeling like an achievement right now in itself.
Oh yeah.
I know. Yeah. Apparently that's the bare minimum now. Just show. No, I'm not going to do that to Jesse. I think our attendance is pretty good. The only time I ever missed a show, I was on a plane. So,
well, even I was a victim of it last week. I saw the chats. You guys aren't sly. I saw, even though it's an NFC West channel, like bots ducking that loss, and I'm like, of course, I got the stomach bug right in time to duck that loss, but. And I got to tell you, it didn't hurt not coming on. And
did you notice Jesse clearly missed you? He kept calling. he kept calling TD Z-Bot. He's like, yeah, Z-Bot. So, and then he was just like,
yeah, I had Brandon Cooks catchitis. That's what I came down with after that one. Jonah Naylor, and not going to be confused with John. Substation took out Jesse. Substation.
Have you not heard about this?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. It was about the train station.
Z-Bot, you haven't heard about the substation?
I don't know.
What?
Oh my God. Z-Bot's not heard about it, man. The Niners, there's a whole story about 2 weeks ago that came out that gained a bunch of traction.
Oh, yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's
I didn't know the
electrical
name
power
of it.
substation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They're looking into it.
I know.
And they're looking into it. We've reached the point where they're looking into it. It's gone beyond tinfoil hats to they're going to have guys on the ground there like, run around now a little bit. Let me run a little harder now.
Unbelievable. Well, somebody, I think it was Grant who had said when it came out, like, all it's going to take is for somebody to draw concern about this in the building for this to become a real thing. I think that's exactly what happened. I mean, that is what happened, right? I mean, it became real.
Yeah.
Quick.
Well, if they connect it, do you know the lawsuits they'll have on their hands if they do connect this to actually having something that's tangible and real?
Oh, I mean, it went all the way to Joe Rogan.
No.
Yeah.
Rogan picked it up.
Rogan picked it up.
What do you have Rodgers on, or what was the deal there?
Might as well have.
Rob saying McVay implying we were lucky to win was the final straw for me. He's a coked out clown. He's not my coach.
No. I'm going to shoot this shit down in 2 seconds, okay? McVay didn't say you were lucky to win. He was talking about a play. And look, he may or may not have been wrong. I looked at it. I could see his point. I could also see maybe they actually had two guys go over and bottle up Kyron Williams. But he's saying an inopportune play where it felt like for him it was kind of one of those lucky mishaps where if they weren't supposed to be in that position, which McVay assumed was the case, then it totally took away them going to Kyron Williams. And that was apparently the first read, and it messed him up. And so he wasn't saying they're lucky. I've never seen Sean McVay ever say that. He gives teams that don't even deserve credit. So he would never discount the Seahawks. He did not say you were lucky to win. That's ridiculous. He was talking about one play in particular that maybe there was a mishap. And Brandon, what were your thoughts on that? Do you think that was what they were supposed to do? I personally don't know.
I think it's very possible because what they did in that moment was that they had run a lot of four-man fronts throughout the course of the game, and that was the one time that they ran the stack box, and then they wanted to drop as much as they can in coverage. They caught Rodgers with a very similar design last year for the pick six with Leonard Williams in New York. So I've seen it conceptually. Now, have it driven to the running back necessarily? Not necessarily, but if you watch the play, it's also the only guy there in space for those two defenders to go pick up. Everything else is gone out of the picture. It's as much as just you drop so many guys back into space, you had the extra bodies to squeeze. You could still double Puka over, I think, onto the other side, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was just by accident that they were supposed to go somewhere else. I think that they were just flowing to where they felt the player in space, and it happened to cinch it up. I also don't think they ran a double there, right? I'm not thinking it's that. I think it's just you're reading, as you have the guy drop into space, you're saying, go. And remember, with a guy like Leonard Williams there, he's not a guy that's in coverage a lot. So he's not going to just do the thing you're used to doing when you see like a middle linebacker spot dropping into a landmark.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I didn't necessarily look at him and like, oh yeah, they were lucky they dropped two, and I didn't even think of it like that. But I just can tell you, I know McVay wasn't saying you guys got lucky, and I know
he was talking about talking about the play. He was speaking about the play itself. So I don't. Yeah. But I don't. That's the part where he's. I think they're. I don't know if it's luck there. It's like when you're going up against a defensive-minded head coach and he's got everything in his bag he can call upon from every kind of call in the book, those kind of plays are possible. So it's probably less likely luck in that situation. He probably called a pretty good play there.
Yeah.
We were due for our weekly Mike shout out for Mike being Mike, and we got it. Finally, Jordan's in here saying shout out to Mike for being a Cardinals fan. We got retired young and traveling. One of my other favorite usernames. Just love that. Just nailing it top to bottom. Respect to Jake. Restored. No more Kip. Kip off the table. Restored.
Still don't know who Kip is, but appreciate it.
Daniel Bailey. Great game. Difference was red zone, third down, and turnover battle. Did come down to those categories, at least it seemed from my perspective. Mark Sanchez. I would have Sam instead of Allen, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or any other QB. I told Brandon, Terry B was perfect for Pitt. Sammy D is perfect for the Hawks. Well, whatever you want to say about the rest of those guys, Sam Darnold's off to the Super Bowl. And outside of Mahomes, none of those other guys have done it. Garth Knight, I know Seattle fans want an enemy in Jake. Jake loves the Rams, but he's still a class dude, as he just verbalized. Now, Jesse driving Lyle to the Senior Bowl and skipping this show. On the other hand,
that's funny.
We got Josh Schmitz. Respect to Jake for telling it like it is.
Amen.
Go Hawks.
Amen.
Saber. Stafford better win MVP. Go Hawks. NFC's the best. Even Hawks fans want Stafford to win the MVP so they can say that they beat the MVP. to get to the Super Bowl. Everybody wins, right? Jordan.
We like to see us West Coasters, Zbot, kind of like to see you East Coasters with all your bias out there. Sometimes vote for us out on the West Coast when we deserve it. You know, I know you forget about us. I know we're out here in, are they in the kind of Asia out there? Isn't it sort of Asia-ish or Southern Alaska? No, we exist. We are people too. So, and we deserve awards when we're great, as Stafford's been.
Yeah, I'm too busy basking in my success in upstate New York to pay any attention to you West Coasters, right? All the success that's come our way.
Hey, I'm not a West Coaster.
Yeah, no, I know
trust
you're
me,
not.
Brando and I could go at it over there and judge MVP, but we're not going to go into that.
Jordan, shout out to Jake for being a part of an awesome rivalry. We have Chief Yams. Jake, you a real one. Go Hawks Super Bowl, baby. We got 80s the gamer. We don't care what anyone else thinks. We all we got. We all we need. We know who we playing, and we ain't scared. We did not care. Go Hawks, baby. The 12s are fired up.
The Mike McDonald thing was hilarious. Like I was in like I felt like I was in hell in that moment, and then I watched him and he said, "We didn't care," and then that was it. It was like the funniest shit ever. I'm like, did he
broke that down?
Like,
no, he said he thought it was because you're hearing your voice go through the PA speakers, and you'll love this as a Yankee fan. So he was referencing that he was trying to do it like in his mind, like it was going to be his Lou Gehrig moment. So where he's out there and he's like, I consider myself, where there's a little bit of a, and so it ended up just causing it to come out, you know, we don't care. And so it just sounded weird as hell, but it was awesome. Pure Mike.
It worked. It was funny.
He's had a couple iconic moments. That he said he spends 30 minutes a day with his son, which is more than he's done per usual, which is just an incredible soundbite. And this is how you get to the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. It's a dog eat dog job of being a head coach. Creative roulette. Shout out to Mike for predicting the score. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if only
Tell me you
$100
something on that.
I was just
I didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, next time. We'll get him next time.
Mike lands the predictions, but he never is confident to him. He's always like, but I don't know. I want to like, and I'm just, and then he just spits out the score.
I mean, by the time we get to this point, I'm exhausted, man. I am tired, so I'm like delusional at the same time. So, hey, it worked out for me. So
I bet you win all of your March Madness bracket challenges every single year.
Exactly.
No, I don't. I'm actually very terrible at that.
Just bet the dogs. Just bet the dogs. And then you have a lot of fun. Jordan,
I bet you picked UMS, whatever the hell, UMBC to beat Virginia the year that the 1 seed went down. I could see it. You picked the 16 seed.
MKB, Mike knows ball. Jordan 3305. Shout out to Jesse. He isn't here, but go Sam. Wu-Tang Financial. Popped our rivals in the playoffs. Darnold's statement win. Rams were worthy opponents. Respect that whole org, but we got them. Be what is best in life. I got to imagine whatever's best in life. You're living it right now.
No, he's wanting a little bit of this. You know what's best in life, Z-Bot?
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women.
Always prepared is Brando. Still dreaming. Let's hope Jesse is okay. He's a poet and a scholar. He is okay.
You missed the poem, man. You missed the poem, Z-Bot.
No, I didn't. I was very upset I could not lead him into the poem, but I watched.
Jesse Whitman. That's what we're calling him from now on. Jesse Walt Whitman.
I mean, it was just exceptional how he was able to craft that story. Jordan's back in again. Shout out to Z-Bot for being an awesome host and being a Bills fan. Jordan, I needed that. I appreciate you. And shout out to you as well. Shout out to Brandon for an awesome year. Let's get this W. And shout out to all the critics. We do not care. Mark Sanchez, Jesse not showing up speaks volumes about that fan base. All 3 games, Niner fans were talking so much shite. Look at them now. Tail between their legs and silent. I hope they bring back their old team. Mark is on Jesse's arse tonight. We got Mark. Katie. Did you see Cooper Kupp's wife's story post? Looks like the Rams really put them through it. So I was reading that earlier, Jake. Apparently, Kupp's wife was kind of backing up that article that you were kind of discussing earlier in the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said if there's any truth to that and you have to take Mike Silver with a grain of salt, then I'm glad that he got, his. But, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's tough because I understand both sides. But, Kupp's one of those guys, he would tell you it's just a business. It's it's tough, man. I mean, they paid him so much money. They gave him over $20 million over the last 3 years, and he was kind of a bust. I mean, that was not a great, and it was because of the injuries, of course, but it put the Rams in a bad spot. Now, would I have brought him back after the fact, now knowing that Tutu Atwell, who you paid $10 million to, you only threw to like 14 times all year? Yeah, I would have. I would have just spent that money on Cooper Kupp, who was willing to take a discount, from what I heard. But, I mean, I see a lot of kind of revisionist history. I mean, there are a lot of Rams fans. Like, we got to be honest with ourselves. Cooper Kupp, love him. He was the Super Bowl MVP for this team. He was the heart and soul. But at the same time, he was declining rapidly. And I just don't feel like the Rams felt like they could continue to pay over $20 million to a guy that was dealing with ankle issues and, you know, couldn't get over 700 yards receiving.
We got Tommy Cox. Jake, what would we hope for in the Rams draft in April? We got a whole offseason, Tommy Cox, to dive into that draft, and we will get to it throughout the offseason for sure.
Corners and wide receivers.
Danny B.
Give him one name, Jake. Right now, your first pick. Atlanta's pick.
Oh,
give me one
13th
name.
overall. If I don't trade up, I'm going with Mekhi Lemon if he's there from USC. Give me another like mini Nakua, okay? They were missing a wide receiver 3. They really were. In other years, they had Brandon Cooks, Sammy Watkins, Josh Reynolds. They were missing a wide receiver 3 this year. And that
must
really
be nice
showed
to have
up.
a wide receiver 1 and 2, Jay. God bless you. I'm hoping you get your wide receiver 3 there. Danny B, I swear I saw Landman guarding JSN once.
So this is actually the part about that sail route to JSN in the back of the end zone where he's open, which is one of the cool parts about this game. We used a McVay special against himself. Sean McVay invented that play with Cooper Kupp in the backfield out of shotgun with the wide receiver as a running back because it puts the defense in a predicament where the linebacker is going to be the one to tend to pick up that guy on every other play. But now you have to change your defense conceptually to account for that prior to the snap. McVay figured this out with Cooper Kupp and used him really well. It neutralizes double teams especially, but sometimes you can get a free and open guy out there in space like on that play.
We have Daniel Bailey. Jake, there is a difference between it was a close game that either team could have won and Rams deserved to win. I agree with the first. Good game to you, my friend. We have Addis the Gamer. The media needs to stop bringing up the past. We know what happened back then. This time is different. We are aware and don't care. We will be ready. Josh, during the Hawks' 9-game win streak, the Rams scored 64 in 2 games. The other 7 teams combined for 68. This game was definitely the de facto Super Bowl, and it certainly felt that way. We have Airborne 82. Give it a shout out to the Cardinals, saying go Cardinals. Shout out to you, Airborne. Still fit. Like our 4th and 4 to Xavier Weaver instead of McBride. Mike, we got Daniel Bailey. AZ Mike, please give Jesse some crap for missing today. I think we all gave Jesse a little bit of crap for that Darnolditis he came down with this past week. Garth Knight. By the way, kudos to Mike for showing up. Cardinals are representing while Jesse and Lyle are trying to replace a heater core in their Kia on their drive to Alabama. Yeah, we are definitely giving Jesse some flack tonight. Daniel Bailey. Mike's a real one. He deserves a better team, and a better team is on the horizon. Mike, it's coming. Don't you worry. Danny B, I think people don't realize how much the Rams and Puka plus Tay puts pressure on Seattle's defense. Patriots don't even have a guy like Tay, and Kyron plus Corum as well as the tight ends. Patriots don't got that. No, they do not, Danny B. And this is why I think we keep referring to that NFC Championship game as the de facto Super Bowl, because there is just a difference in talent. You saw it on display on Championship Sunday. Retired, young, and traveling. To the haters, we did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us. And now we're going to the Super Bowl. Jordan 3305. Shout out to the no look pass to JSN. Mark Sanchez.
How about that?
Z-Bot, I feel awful how your season ended. Sucks. Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Me too. I feel pretty bad about it as well. Jay Gundy.
Not Z-Bot. We were, I don't know if you saw, man, but we had your back with those calls. I think I hated seeing it all universally, all the way around. Second straight year that your season comes in and into that. Just absolutely BS, man.
And that's the thing. I'm fine with losing. It's the fact that they always got to lose with this unbelievable, controversial, debatable situation. It's just endless. That's the thing.
They're just throwing up. They threw up 2 prayers, dude. They threw up 2 prayers and they reward them for it, in my opinion. And I don't think that that's what you should do in the playoffs. Is make these guys make plays, make them make it happen. Don't come in there and just bail them out on stuff. And I hate to
53
see
yards. 53
Yeah,
yards
that's,
of penalties.
that's ridiculous. And then
No
we're talking
one
about
is
with the game
watching
on the
that.
line. With the game
And
on
they
the
had
line.
swallowed the whistle on the previous drive. But to me, what it all comes down to,
Well, the Cooks one should have been called, but that wasn't called in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, so I wasn't surprised.
you can't swallow the whistle all game and then pick and choose when you want to start blowing it. And that's the thing that kills me. But beyond that, the fact that they didn't comb through that Cooks catch for 5 minutes. I mean, I'm watching the worst AFC championship game ever played. Jarrett Stidham throws a double-fisted chest pass backwards. And I got Gene Steratore.
And he threw another one, too. He tried it again later on.
Oh, my God.
Gene Steratore goes from, yeah, Jim, it's clearly intentional grounding and it's the right call. Then all of a sudden, wait a minute, we're just hanging out. Oh, we're going to review it. And I'm thinking to myself, same stadium, far less consequential play because you're talking about overtime to win the game in the other one. We're talking about a second quarter play here. Then they go review it, overturn it. Gene Steratore comes down. You want to know what he says? Yeah, Jim, it's a clear backwards pass. I just can't believe they didn't let him play through it. And you're sitting there and you're like, huh? What? So it's just the consistency, fella, that's got nothing to do with the Bills.
Well, we got to get rid of the referee.
Got to go.
I mean, if you want to keep Mike Pereira, I'm okay with that. He's the OG and he's actually good, but everyone else can go. I'm tired. Terry McAuley will be the first one to argue with people on Twitter and tell you how,
you
don't know what a catch
when he
is.
knows he can win. He'll only argue when he knows he can win. He did not speak on that Devontae Adams catch. He did not speak on it.
Yeah,
we don't argue everything else.
He just I don't know. He's I'm over it. I mean it's already bad enough that officials like Kyle Van Noy was suggesting on Pat McAfee, officials should have to answer questions in pressers. Yes, and I agree completely. I know they wouldn't do the job if they had to do that, but I mean I agree.
We've been talking about this forever, though. I mean, I remember we've been talking about this forever. And I think we're going to have a show in the offseason. It's going to be called What is a Catch? We'll be live from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. the following day, and we still will not have a conclusion. We'll throw in some official talks into there as well. Jay Gundy, by the way, saying, y'all trolling. That was AI Jesse voice. Yeah, I actually was crafting that on the back end over on Grok. That wasn't even Jesse. That was just me playing with some AI in the background.
What the hell is Grok?
You don't know Grok? That's Elon's AI. Everybody's got an AI.
Oh, Grok?
Isn't it Gronk?
Was it Grok?
Grok?
Is that your...
Is it not Grok?
That's upper.
What do you call it? You call it Grok. What is it? What did you say? Grok?
Gronk.
It is
Grok.
Grok.
Is it Grok? Definitively?
Definitively.
I don't know. I like Grok better.
I think it's just funny.
Yeah. I call it Grok. You say Grok, I say Grok. Patrick Hines says the NFC West keeping the NFL entertained. The others, we got Dylan.
Awful.
All 5 of you are real ones. Takes right or wrong, you put in the work. Y'all make the NFC West Roundtable the best weekly sports show and a must-watch each week. Wow, incredibly put, Dylan. We really appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much for the support all season. Ethan, 2 gladiators, respect. Why did McVay stop running? We talked about it throughout the show, and Jake had his criticisms of Sean McVay coming up short in that championship game. We got Steve. Brando, so do you think Kubiak to the Raiders? Brandon shared earlier, he's got some boots on the ground out in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl, and we're not entirely sure if Kubiak is gung-ho on the idea of building this Raiders up.
Yeah, it's on the table, man, but that's a lot of work to be done there with the Raiders, and they're going to want to take Mendoza, and he's got to fix him out of the RPO stuff and get him under center. I mean, I wouldn't envy him going to that job, and you can understand why he'd have second thoughts.
And they're just taking the cast off of Seattle, Brandon, and trying to make it work over there in Las Vegas. They're trying to make Kubiak one more piece of that puzzle. We got Daniel Bailey. Surprise Shieldhouse still available. Act Fast cards, and we think maybe there could be a Rams hiring in the Cards future not too far from now. Kojak, thanks for the humility and kind words from the guys. Go Hawks. You guys had an awesome roundtable this season and for a legendary division too. Well put, Kojak. We appreciate you.
I think we ain't done yet.
We ain't done yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, we ain't done yet. Last I checked, we got
right
Super Bowl
through the offseason, right?
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, we will. Listen, the NFC West Roundtable, this train ain't stopping. We're only adding, what do they call them? Cars? What do they call them? Train cars? Come on.
Convoy?
I'm just a simple Buffalonian. What do I know? You add it to the back of the train. Yeah, convoy. We're only getting larger.
Hop on board or get out the way.
Exactly
That's
right,
the way
Jay.
it works.
Get on the damn bus.
Yeah.
As I go from the train analogy to the bus analogy, just hop on board. Trung Do. Preseason Cubs said he wanted to end his career as a Ram. Apparently, they tried to sabotage his free agent value. First, full circle, now Cub GM winning TD and first down. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier. You'll have to share that. You've probably shared that article, I'm imagining, Jake, over on your Twitter. People can read it themselves and kind of get an idea what they take of that.
Yeah, it is behind a paywall, and I will not be paying to read the article. But I found I had ways of finding out what was in the article. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
People
you lost me I have to pay for a Michael Silver article. You lost me right there.
Oh, I love you, Brando. Can we clip that?
It constantly feels like anything worth reading, though. By the way, it's like you get to when you see it pop up, you're like, "Oh no, I'm not doing this. I'm not another thing.
Yeah.
Not another thing." Mark Sanchez. Niner fans were absolutely obnoxious in every game. Rams fans were not even close. Brandon can speak to this. Can you hit that Niner soundbite B for Z-Bow? Let me get that.
Damn, fuck the 49ers. Yeah, fuck the 49ers. Brock Purdy look like Jimmy Neutron, Fran Sheen. Timu Tom Brady got your quarterback from Sheen.
Oh my
that
God.
Sheen line is that is all
My roommate
stuff.
loves that song.
I don't know how
And yeah, the Niner fans don't understand. They go, "Where's there's a lot of respect between the Rams and Seahawks fans?" And it's like we deal with them. They're like, "Blah blah blah." It's like, well, yeah, because you guys come in flaming hot every time, turned up to 11 with the toxicity. So yeah, it's kind of hard afterwards to go
man.
like, well, you wish my mom got horrible things done to her before the game, but let's come back and handshake after. It's gonna get kind of hard to do that.
Prapa, who's got the San Francisco Niners logo superimposed on top of the New England Patriots logo, saying breaking. He wants everybody to burn here, by the way, because he's saying breaking. The Cardinals just hired Urban Meyer. Mike, it's going to be 10 years of success coming your way with Urban Meyer at the helm. Quinn will get it done. Mike LaFleur going to be the Sam Darnold of coordinators, coming to the NFC West after being smeared by the Jets. What a crazy division. Hey, it very well could happen, Quinn.
Yeah.
We're watching the same thing happen with Robert Saleh. How about both cast-offs in East Rutherford? Brian Dable and Robert Saleh now leading the charge out in Tennessee. It's amazing how full circle things can come. The
Those
HHG.
poor Jets fans, man.
I got no sympathy whatsoever. Actually, you know what? I take
They're
that back. I actually
great
do.
fans.
No, I do actually genuinely do feel bad for them. You're right.
And they have
I
the
do.
worst owner in professional sports.
Nobody deserves what they've gone through. I'm telling you, even your worst enemy doesn't deserve it. I mean, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. The HHG. Just do a PSA message before you go live. Yeah, that's in reference to the super chats before the show. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do a pinned chat before the show starts, letting people know to save their super chats until the stream starts. That way they'll pop up for us, because for some reason they don't before the show starts. Prop is saying Hawks winning at Levi's would be rough, but the goal remains the same. If the Niners win their 6th Super Bowl, no rival can say anything. Couple good drafts, and we can be back. Gotta stay positive. Jesse said earlier, of course, he'll have his thoughts on that.
Yeah, well said, Prop. Right? Anybody in this division has got their potential. This year's shown that with people in the outlook of Seattle, and this division is tough as it is, but especially with the Niners and the Rams, you guys have shown this year. This isn't just a flash in the pan. You guys will absolutely be back in the fray, and maybe the Cardinals too.
And the Niners are always back in the fray. Just when you think they're out, they're right back in. So I don't anticipate them going anywhere anytime soon. Dakota, Brando, can you hit me with every soundbite you have for that Niners anthem? Give it to me one more time, Brando.
Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 Super Bowl losing streak.
The best. See, Needle. 12 here. Love all you guys. Shout out to Jake. Watched your reaction after the game and was feeling for you, bud. Next year, and for anyone mocking your content, just trolls who don't put themselves out there can't do what you do. How about C. Needle coming in?
Thank you, see me.
I appreciate that. It's sad it wasn't just trolls, though. There was actually certain content creators on the Seahawks side. Not Brandon and not Dan. Those are two guys I have much respect for. But, yeah. And you know what's actually kind of funny? I'm not going to mention names. Brandon knows who I'm talking about. You know how I found out? I actually had a Seahawks fan who watches your show, Brando, who said, these guys suck, and sent me this. And he's like, mind you, I'm a Seahawks fan. I watch you more than them because they're that bad. And I had it sent to me, and they were, I just can't imagine, just picture it. We're all at the NFC West Roundtable meetup. and we're calling out people by first and last name and saying all their content is shit. I can't imagine doing that. That really blew me away. But hey, mentioning my name, I mean, publicity is publicity, right? Means I'm doing something.
They had an in-person meeting, guys. In the first 35 seconds, they brought up Jake's name.
Wow.
Really good.
Yeah. We got to outdo ourselves next year at the next event. We got to outdo ourselves, by the way. Maybe we'll bring up a couple of names.
Well, I mean, we had more people at our event, so.
Ooh. Jeez. Humble him real quick. By the way, Jake, you're not alone. I was as you probably are well aware, I had a couple of things to say about the catch rule after that Buffalo Bills Denver Broncos game. I had a Patriots, one of their lead beat reporters, quote tweet me and say, people like this should not be allowed to publicly speak about football. So you're not alone. It's endless in this world.
Wait, he was a credentialed reporter?
I don't know. I didn't take the time to look.
He probably was.
This
guy was. And what I would say is I'd be upset too if I started in 2011 and barely had more subscribers than the kid I was going after who started in 2020.
I'll just say nobody's safe in this space. But God forbid you have a take.
I'll always throw a jab back if someone throws a jab at me. But for the most part, I'll coexist with anybody.
Wait, you mean to tell me these guys had an event and they're 25 seconds into their event and they call you out?
And they said
first and last name.
Yeah, I need to see this clip.
They said
love to see this as well.
They said all Rams content is shit too. So it wasn't just me. It was my coworkers. It was Alexis. It was my
said
friends.
All those names?
Blaine.
Wow.
They didn't say those names, but I mean, when you go at an entire. That's one thing. I don't care what anyone says about 49ers fans. I love those creators. I love Jesse. I love Grant. Okay, there's some really good 49er creators out there. There are some really good Seahawks creators out there. They should be bigger than they are, and it's probably because they're not credentialed, which honestly I think it makes them more credible in some cases. I would say so. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't like giving them publicity. I already said their names on my channel. That's as much as I'm going to give them, but it's not. I've been called out before. I thought it was funny. I showed my girlfriend and she's like, "Oh, that's awesome." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "So that you mean to tell me that they're doing their big fan event? They have all their people getting to meet them in person and they're talking about you? That's what their mind is on before the biggest game that they're, It's like, yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I can see it now.
I want to see it.
NFC West
I'll send it to you guys.
Appreciate it.
Live event next year, round 2, where it's just going to be bigger and better than ever. And here's how it's going to start off. We're going to be in Seattle, I envision. This is what I'm rooting for, by the way. I hope this is the case. We're going to be in Seattle.
That'd be hilarious.
Sunday night football. Let's just say it's Seattle, LA. And I'm going to kick the show off like this. What is up, NFC West Roundtable football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. Jake Ellenbogen is the worst to ever do it. We are live at Lumen Field.
My dad blamed you for the guy getting my name wrong because he's like, well, it's because Z-Bot's always calling you Ellenbogen.
Wait, what is this another one of those Groke instances?
Yeah.
It's Ellenbogen.
I clearly have a big problem with my O's and my O's.
Buffalo folks are soft on their vowels. That's what we've learned here from Z-Bot.
Yes, apparently so.
But it's funny.
Wait. So they actually pronounce it the way I pronounce it?
They did. My dad. They literally started describing me. They're like, "Yeah, you mean the guy with the chain who likes a bunch of big time teams?"
What? Oh, you have got to send this over.
Yeah, no, I will, and I'll top it off, and I'll be done with it. So that happened on Saturday, right? On Thursday, I happened to reach out to this guy. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I was just like, you know what? We don't always agree, but I know you work your ass off, and basically, I respect what you do.
Good for
he
that
never
guy.
responded to me, and then I got that, and I was like, that's the dude I just DM'd and gave him praise for. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, you can go fuck yourself. But that's about that.
I was going to say keep killing him with kindness, Jake, but you can kill him that way too.
Yeah.
You can go multiple paths there. That's something else. North Swing. By the way, if he's pronounced it the way I say it, I think we might have a loyal viewer of the NFC West Roundtable. I'm just saying, it could be. North Swing. Mike Mack's podium speech was straight aura farming, and I loved it. Felt like my man was giving us a pre-war speech. Go Hawks, win it in Lumen South. Whose house? Could be the Hawks house.
Hawks
Dylan,
house.
if Kupp wins the Super Bowl, he will retire and be remembered as a Seahawks legend. What a run for Kupp down the stretch here. What a way to end it if he winds up getting it done with Seattle. Creative Roulette. Thoughts on Woolen? Brando, I just want to say from a non-biased perspective, I thought it was complete BS throwing that flag there. Could not believe it. I know you can't do what he did, but in that moment, 15-yard personal foul on 4th and 12 for them to score the next play. Man, if the Hawks wound up losing that game, I don't think Woolen's ever living that down.
I won't expand long on this, but look, I believe in the playoffs, you got to let players play and let them decide. Jake was talking about this earlier, and I think he's in agreement with me on this, and that you don't go to the letter of the law in the playoffs because you don't want an over-officiated game. So there's the letter of the law, and there's the spirit of the law. And now you can come to me and go the letter of the law, you can throw a flag there. I think it's kind of weird that you got to have Devontae Adams kind of come in there into the official's ear and go like a devil on his ear, like, you should throw the flag here. Instead of it just being his decision purely in the moment. But you got to let those players play, because not only is that a bad flag, it changes the complexity of the game in that moment, which makes it doubly bad to me. And I hated it. I'm not excusing Woolen's behavior. I'm not saying that you can't come back to Woolen and say, man, you got a more control. But at the same point in time, you can't throw that flag. It's going to be a hyper emotional game on the most regular of days. Say nothing of the conference championship, where adrenaline is running to the nines. Kind of understand that a little bit. Take that into account. There'll be some extra pushing and shoving. There'll be some extra, it's going to go with the territory a little bit.
No doubt about it. I agree with you completely. Bad boy Twan. Congrats, Seattle Seahawks. Go win it all. I miss you, Mike Mack. Hashtag stunt on these hoes. Dexter meme. I love that meme where Dexter's
We got you, bad boy.
putting his hand on the lager. I love that.
We got you.
Quick shout out to Tom Grossi for hitting 1 million.
Hey.
All of you are fantastic content creators. We all appreciate what you do. Wow. I thought Tom was already at 1 million, to be honest with you. I had just already assumed he was
The
there.
fact that we're talking about a football creator that's at 1 million, I mean, we got to give a lot of praise to that. And
that's amazing.
Tom's a great dude. He's done a lot away from football, like, just like all the different charity work he's done. And I'll always be able to say that we collaborated on a Rams Packers show together twice. So
he seems great.
Much love to him. We were trying to do one last year, and he's just been so busy. It's hard to get a hold of him. I mean, at the time, I think he was going on Pat McAfee. So the reason why I bring it up is when you are in this YouTube stratosphere, at least if you don't have a jealous bone in your body, you're like rooting for these guys. If that's kind of how I feel. Mm-hmm. And it's just cool to see him succeed the way he's succeeding.
Well said. Couldn't have put it better. No question. Mark Jackson, just here to support you all. Congrats to Seahawks fans. Go Cardinals. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Mark, for supporting the show. Appreciate you, my man. Mark. SZ Koken. Jake, if the Hawks and Rams play again, who wins and why? Real quick on this one, Jake.
If the Rams and Hawks play again, knowing everything they know, I think...
Just say it, Hawks.
I'd like to say the Rams, because he gives Stafford a fourth go at a team.
Oh God.
I mean, I think that
it's the Rams, says Jake. Oh, let's put it boldly.
Hey,
here,
we
Jake.
got
say it with your chest. Say it
we
with
got
your
a
chest.
2-point game, a 1-point game, and a 4-point game.
They're due for a tie.
I like to think they would win. It's funny. I saw somebody say, "Can we just get a best of 3 Super Bowl Rams Seahawks?"
I'm in. Anything.
I think everyone except for Patriots fans would be in.
And who cares what they think? So let's just go with that.
I mean,
the almighty Dagda dropping off a pomegranate.
Let's go, Almighty.
Incredible
Boysenberry.
stuff from Almighty. Yeah, the Boysenberry. Shout out to Almighty. Love you guys and what you do. Mad respect, Jake, for your Rams team. So glad the Hawks won, and Bobo got his long-awaited touchdown. More Bobo. Also, I just got a custom 3 jersey made with the name Demon Wari on the back. Man, Almighty is having himself a week. Shout out to Bobo, by the way.
Yeah, Bobo. More Bobo, please. I like that.
Thanks again, by the way, Almighty. Really appreciate that, man. Dylan.
Almighty, you're awesome, man. And Demon Warrior, man. Demon Warrior, I've been telling you guys, Kyle Hamilton 2.0. I think you guys got to see that last week here a little bit and throughout this year. That kid's going to be next level for years to come.
Dylan saying, name all the GMs that have taken 2 completely different rosters to the Super Bowl. John Schneider. GMs deserve more criticism. The groceries matter. Yeah, you don't need to tell me twice, Dylan. Believe me. Believe me. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, all right, I still don't know what I've been watching over the last week. Kyle Hadenwani, sorry if I butchered that. Kyle saying our Hawks really did it. One more game to go. Kudos to the Rams for playing us hard all the way to the end. We got just my opinion. Z-Bot's passion is inspiring. Yes. Patriots can suck it. Yes, just my opinion. Yes, I am with you. I am with you. Airborne. He wanted to say it twice, by the way. My Cardinals is doubling down on this. I love it. Propa. Broncos with Knicks could have been a really good matchup against Seattle. Elite pass rush and a shutdown corner. Feel like we got robbed of a better Super Bowl. We did indeed. Propa. Nobody wants to watch New England.
Yeah, Propa. 100%.
AAA. Jake is a terrible evaluator if he believes in Akello.
I think it's funny that there are Rams fans that are like, as long as we don't bring back Akello. And they were actually blaming this loss. I saw people blaming it on him. He didn't even play. He was injured. And my thing is, why would you not want him back at $1.5 million a year when you're going to have to pay Puka Nacua, Jared Verse, Steve Avila, Kobe Turner, Byron Young? I mean, the list goes on. Warren McClendon Jr. He's probably one of the best value deals you're going to get. And he has familiarity with the defense. He's been your best corner when healthy. I'm not saying you plug him in right away and you don't go out and get a Jamel Dean. You don't try and go out and get, a Greg Newsome the second. But to not want him back, I just don't really understand what the logic is there.
We got Simogen. Man, some of these. What do you think our best guess is here?
You got it right on that. Simogen.
Let's go. It's very rare I'm nailing these on the first try.
Well done there.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Cheers to you, Jake. You make great content along with everyone else on the table. Glad we are all in the best NFC West division and a baseball team catching strays. Shout out to the Diamondbacks. Shout out. Retired young and traveling. LaFonda, look what these guys are saying about me. Oh, my God. You guys are nuts. We got Matthew Storvik. On the Woolen flag, there was a report saying the ref threw it because he did not stop. The ref told Woolen to move along and keep taunting. Brandon, you nailed it. Like it is not only is it a divisional game, and you said it would have happened if it was week 1. It is the NFC Championship. Keep the flag in your pocket. We got user XZ4CW2HG9Y throwing some euros at the boys. I want to thank you for your podcast. It was fantastic and an important part of my week. It's not done. I'm telling you.
Stop using was. Don't use was. Then people won't come back. They'll think that we're done for the offseason. We're not. We don't go anywhere.
Hey, and real quick, just back to the other dono quick, Z-Bot. I know we're about to wrap it up, but just real quick too. I didn't see the lips really moving of the ref as Devontae Adams is in the ref's ear trying to talk him into the flag. So if that's the ref that purportedly told them to stop, that's not what the video showed.
Yeah. Either way, I just thought it was ridiculous. By the way, user XZ4CW2HG9Y watching from Germany.
Let's go.
Shout out to that. The boys are international. We're in Australia, Germany, and hopefully we're in your homes this time next week as we preview Super Bowl 60, where the Seattle Seahawks look to avenge their loss to the New England Patriots the last time they were in the Super Bowl against those same New England Patriots. We can't wait to break it down and cover it with you. Next week, same time, same place. Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. But for tonight, that's going to do it. For Brando, Mike, Jake, and Jesse, we hope that Darnold-itis heals up soon. I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning into the NFC West Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, And the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.